Two shootings on two coasts. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. A deadly workplace shooting at a UPS building in San Francisco. More on that in a moment. But first, footage just released from this morning's attack on members of Congress during a baseball practice in Virginia. That's from witness Noah Nathan, a top congressman, House Majority Whip Steve Scalise, in critical condition. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live at the scene in Alexandria.
The gunman who opened fire on a baseball field right behind where I'm standing is dead. 66-year-old James Hodgkinson died after Capitol Police shot him. Gavin Nichols lives nearby and heard the commotion in this usually quiet neighborhood.
Police showed up, 4 or 5 cars immediately. Then there was a second wave and a third wave and a fourth wave. So like 50 cars showed up. The ambulances, police, then you see a helicopter.
The FBI isn't speculating on a motive and says it's exploring all angles of the investigation. Lisa.
Rachel, online, the shooter was anti-Trump and he had volunteered for the Bernie Sanders presidential campaign. Senator Sanders today condemning the shooting, saying he is sickened by it. Now to that deadly shooting in California, where Fox's Jessica Rosenthal is live. She filed this a short time ago.
Police in San Francisco confirm when they responded, they located the suspect who put a gun to his head and killed himself.
The suspect was dressed in a UPS uniform, but we have not yet confirmed or determined if he is an employee of the company.
However, Acting Police Chief Tony Chaplin says they have tentatively identified him. UPS has said in a statement that the people involved in the incident were UPS employees. Of 6 victims, police say 3 have died. They have not yet reported a motive, but there were multiple witnesses and they're talking to them all. UPS says it employs over 800 people at this facility.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal again in California. Fox News, fair and balanced.
If you run your own business, when you're not on the job, you're on the road. In your van. Signs that say detour and do not enter are just plain bad for business. Well, here's a sign that's great for business. It says 0% financing and up to 2 years complimentary scheduled maintenance on Mercedes-Benz Sprinter or Metris vans. Powerful, capable, and affordable. That's Mercedes-Benz Van Power. With pioneering safety technologies and low total cost of ownership, Mercedes-Benz vans are the right choice for your business. Check out the full lineup of Mercedes-Benz vans starting at just $25,995. 0% financing and up to 2 years complimentary scheduled maintenance. That's van power for all. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Starting at price refers to base model Metris worker cargo van. Excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Please see your dealer or go to mvvans.com for further details and exclusions.
Jury in the Bill Cosby sex assault trial in Pennsylvania just asking another question. Their 5th overall. This time they wanted a readback of some of the accuser's testimony. It's the 3rd day of deliberations. The manhunt continues for 2 Georgia prison inmates accused of killing guards to escape.
Both Donnie Russell Rowe and Ricky Dubose are still on the lam after they are alleged to have shot 2 Georgia corrections officers to death, stealing the officers' guns while on a bus ride east of Atlanta.
The reward for the apprehension of both of these individuals now stands at $90,000.
Howard Sills is the Putnam County, Georgia sheriff. It had been reported the pair carjacked a green Honda Civic yesterday. Now they're believed to be riding in a stolen white Ford pickup. Eben Brown, Fox News.
The U.S. Senate passing new sanctions on Russia, punishment for meddling in the 2016 election and for Russia's aggression in other parts of the world. That measure winning bipartisan approval. It's being attached to a bill imposing penalties on Iran. China approving a number of new Trump trademarks.
The trademarks include rights to the use of the president's name for socks, advertising and consulting services, beauty salon services, and more. China had previously rejected these 9 registrations but has reversed course and given provisional approval. The Chinese have now granted a total of 39 registrations to the Trump family business since the president took office. A Trump Organization lawyer says the company is just trying to protect the brand against unauthorized squatters in a country known for trademark infringement. In Washington, Malini Wilkes, Fox News.
The Fed announcing its 3rd interest rate hike in 6 months, and stocks finish mixed. The Dow up 46 points to another record close, 21,374, but the S&P and the Nasdaq lower, and oil drops under $45 a barrel. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Keep cool all summer. The experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts will tune up that AC. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Severe thunderstorm watch is in effect. We could use some of that rain. Got a little bit last night where I am. A low of 67 tonight. Tomorrow, high 93, a low of 67. Friday, high 93, a low of 70. Right now, 94 degrees. Feels like 100 in Champaign-Urbana. Yes.
You win. I went through batting practice for a minute with Andrew today. About 20 minutes later, I'm like, yes, dude, it's hot. It's too hot for this.
Wait, it is too hot for one.
It doesn't happen often, but I was like, let's get out of here. It's too hot. You hit the ball well. Let's move on. Good luck at your game tonight. Go get some fluids in your body.
So even you could be too sweaty.
Although I did like the sweat. I liked building up the sweat. You know, it was one of those where
doesn't take you long today.
No, it doesn't.
Just
I felt like I'm
stand
doing
outside
something.
for 20 seconds and you're good.
It is all about baseball today. It's going to be a fun show. We're going to whip around basically with the Cardinals, Cubbies, and White Sox.
Because today is a national holiday and a baseball holiday.
Yes, it is.
According to Mike Claiborne, it is Flag Day.
Flag Day.
We can check up on our teams, kind of evaluate what they are, where they're going.
And I have no idea what the Cubs and Cardinals are at this point. I have zero idea.
I think we know what the Cardinals are.
Yeah, I mean, they're just kind of that.
I think they're an average to above average team that will be in the hunt, but they need changes. They've started that change process, and we'll talk about the Cardinals in just a couple of minutes. Kevin Wheeler going to join us in about 10 minutes to break down the Cardinals, what he's thought so far, just 2.5 months into the season, and what other moves they need to make, and what he thinks of the moves they made last week, which were kind of, I don't want to say ancillary moves because, cutting Johnny Peralta, releasing him outright like they did yesterday is a big move. Firing your third base coach in the middle of the season after he was terrible is a move, a big move. So I do think they're moves, but are they a huge move? And does this team have a huge move in them?
That's the thing, too. And they promoted the AAA hitting coach, which all the young kids loved.
Grichuk especially.
Yes, which put a lot of pressure now. I think it puts a lot of heat on John Mabry, who's kind of a Matheny guy.
And it puts a lot of pressure on Matheny.
Without a doubt. I think Matheny's starting to see this. And I've told you and I've told everybody that asks me or has brought it up that every time I read a scribe in St. Louis, they basically say, don't even think about it. Matheny's not going anywhere. Right. And it's especially not this year, especially not in the middle of the season. But it does give you the indication that Mozeliak's not going to sit back and say, hey. And I like the fact that Mozeliak came out, whether he knows it or not or believes it or not to be the right term, that he said, listen, I'm not even safe the way things are going right now. So I like that. I like the fact that the Cardinals understand that, their fans want better. They want better as an organization, and they've done so much better that we'll see.
I mean, the Cardinals at 30-33 is disappointing.
It is.
Is it all surprising?
No, not at all.
Not really.
When you look at that lineup on a daily basis, no.
This team should probably have 36 to 38 wins and be a couple games over 500. Maybe not 38, but 36-ish wins. Yeah. They've cost themselves a lot of wins. I mean, they are competitive. They are a very competitive team, a tough out most nights. But when you're running into outs or you're giving teams more outs like they are, it's why you're 30-33 instead of, 33-30 or 34-29 right now.
It's funny, the streakiness too, right? Yeah. The wins, the losses, the wins, they all come in streaks that, when the Cardinals are great, and when that was most of the time during our Tay and J Show. You remember?
A year or two ago.
I remember. Every series they'd win 2 of 3. Every series they'd win 2 of 3. On occasion they'd sweep, not often.
Which is a rarity.
Yeah, and they would hardly ever lose 2 or 3 in a row. And it seems this year they'll lose 7, which is weird. And then of course they'll win 6 in a row. And it's like, hold on a second, this is kind of strange to do that.
But the Cubs are a shock.
Yes,
32-32. Given the struggles his lineup has had, given the struggles the pitching staff, I think we thought would come back down to earth.
Agree.
It's been worse than that.
Completely.
It's that pendulum is swung a lot for this team, whether it's Arrieta continuing to regress a little bit, Hendricks coming back down to earth, but Lackey really imploding now. And Brad Anderson from Jason Hamill was a huge downgrade. Even Eddie Butler, whoever it is, we knew starting pitching would be a question. It's proven to be a bigger question than we thought it would be. And then Kyle Schwarber, a lot of their hitters aren't hitting as well. Addison Russell, who's starting to get out of it. The Cubs exploded for 14 runs last night, so it makes you feel good going into today. but you're 2 games out in the NL Central, which is a great thing for the Cubs that the Cardinals are doing what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Milwaukee's leading this division. I think we all think they're probably a 500 team at best. So the Cubs are still in a great position because they have the most talent in a bad division.
And you keep waiting for them to heat up a little bit. Maybe last night, that series against the Cardinals, they swept the Cardinals and kind of went on a run. It was interesting, too, because you could look at last year's team and say, all right, that offense really did the trick and it hit any kind of issues you had pitching, but they didn't have any issues pitching. I mean, their ERA, team ERA, was ridiculous. And like you said, with Jason Hamill at 5, who knew that he would be that good and how bad they would be this year? And when you take 2 out of 5, and I'm not even counting Arrieta here or Hendricks that was struggling, when you take 2 out of 5 starters that are that bad through a 5-game span, you're going to struggle a little bit.
And Lester hasn't been what he was last year. I still have faith in that guy.
Sure.
But, that pitching staff is just a lot worse than even we thought it would be, even though we thought it was going to struggle. As for the South Side, the White Sox, they are what we thought they were.
They're kind of doing what we thought.
They still have enough talent to where they're a competitive team. There are some nice surprises on this team. Obviously, Garcia is an all-star right now. Matt Davidson is putting together a very nice season. Derek Collins been off to a pretty good start so far this year. David Robertson has kept a lot of his trade value, but Todd Frazier struggled for the most part. Jose Quintana has struggled more than we thought he would, even though he's still a very good pitcher, and Carlos Rodon has been hurt the entire year. So there are some things that have gone wrong for them, but they had a nice draft, right?
They did.
They have tradable pieces. July is their month.
Yes, right.
That is their month, and they are the second worst team in the American League. The Oakland A's are the only team worse than them. That's where we thought they were. This is part of the plan. Next year, they will be even worse.
Right.
Because they're going to lose some of these veterans, and they're going to play a lot of young guys who are going to struggle. But this is part of the plan.
Yep.
At least they're down a path, and now their farm system is one of the top 5 in baseball.
If you wrote a paragraph about the White Sox at the bottom, you would say, see Cubs per years, see Houston per these years, and then see what has happened to those teams since. And I would almost dare to say, I would give the White Sox almost an A. Because here's what they did. They came out with a little excitement. They won a few games, which I know you didn't want to do, but you at least got some excitement in these guys, and you took notice essentially around baseball of, all right, which one of these guys are trade pieces? And now they're doing exactly what you want them to do, and that they're losing. So it's almost like, all right, it's not a bad little start. They started off.
I mean, what if Avisail Garcia is a part of your future?
Well,
that'd be a great thing to have. If we get that out of this season, where we think we have a right fielder who's going to hit 275, maybe hit 20 home runs a year with good tools, like he finally put it together this year.
Everything's figured out.
That'd be phenomenal.
It would be.
You found a piece that you didn't think you would have. Matt Davidson, even though he's a high strikeout guy, he fits in today's Major League Baseball. Home runs, and he gets on base a decent amount of the time. Right? I mean, that's what you're looking for.
Exactly.
So he might be a piece. Tim Anderson struggled this year. But Jose Abreu, I think, is going to be a long-term part of your team. He's having a good year.
Yep.
So that's all you're looking for with the White Sox, and they've been maybe a little bit more competitive than people thought.
Our boy Garth Brooks, who loves our show, by the way, and he said that to me when he was here in town. He had that song Unanswered Prayers. With the fact with Quintana doing what he's doing, who knows if you'll look back in 3 or 4 or maybe 5 years and say, I'm glad they didn't get rid of that guy. I'm glad they held on to that guy, even though you can bet that they are trying every day.
Because if you trade him, and all of a sudden you had 2 more great pieces.
Oh, there's no doubt.
And another solid piece to that.
That's still what they want to do.
Depth,
That's still what they want to do. But who knows? Maybe one day you look back and say, hey, he's the cornerstone now of a rotation and a team that's pretty solid and can win the AL Central.
And their bullpen has been fantastic.
Yes, it has.
And there's a lot of young guys back there, even more trade pieces possibly for them, too, if they want to go that route. If you want to weigh in, you can. We're going to be a little guesty in the first, actually most of the show, but you can text in, call in, 359-2255. That's 217-359-2255. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Tay and J Show. Download the WSJK app. Watch us live on YouTube. Just search Tay and J Show. Get the podcast at espncu.com or find us on iTunes. That's all powered by GTPS Insurance. We'll give you our interns' names after an update.
Well, that takes a whole segment.
After Kevin Wheeler.
Okay, that'll work. So Kevin Wheeler coming up, Chris Emma 405, Dan Hayes 430, and then we didn't even mention Malcolm Hill, former Illini, of course, NBA prospect. He's going to be in studio in the 5 o'clock hour to chat some basketball. Can't wait to talk to Malcolm about the NBA season as well and see what he thought about that final. When we return, Kevin Wheeler, 101 ESPN. It is the Tay and J Show.
The season for spring cleaning is here. Freshen up your finances with Busey. Review your budget, pay down debt, and get organized. With Bill Pay from Busey, see and pay all of your bills through eBank. Plus, the Busey mobile app puts your account at your fingertips. For additional resources to spring clean your finances, visit Busey.com or stop by one of our many convenient locations today. Busey, your dream, our promise. Member FDIC.
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are things Country Financial stands for. More than just an office you may pass by as you drive through town. Neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of our community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. Chat with your neighbor at Country Financial. Jesse DeHaan. Call 352-3466. Talk about things that are important to you and how Country Financial can help protect them.
Hey, what are we doing for your birthday party this summer? Well, I was hoping to have a cookout like last summer. What? Don't you remember all those mosquito bites we got last year?
Good news, girls. Not only is Prairie View taking care of everyone's dandelions, now I'm going to take care of all the mosquitoes, too.
Yay!
Enjoy a bug-free summer. For all your mosquito control needs, call Lindy at Prairie View Landscaping and Turf Management at 355-9422. That's 355-9422 for mosquito control from Prairie View Landscaping.
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are things Country Financial stands for. More than just an office you may pass by as you drive through town. Neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of our community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. Chat with your neighbor at Country Financial. Jesse DeHaan. Call 352-3466. Talk about things that are important to you and how Country Financial can help protect them.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Oh, yeah, it is Flag Day, and we're talking baseball. Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lon Tay, Jeremy Warner. We're going to start our trek around baseball. We're going to highlight the Cardinals, we're going to highlight the Cubs, and we're going to highlight the Chicago White Sox as we roll through, and then Malcolm Hill at 5 o'clock. And why not start it with the Cardinals, right?
Let's get to the Jupiter's the Crossing phone line. This guy's always kind with his time. He's Kevin Wheeler, 101 ESPN. Well, Mike Claiborne always said Flag Day was the day you check in, so that's what we're doing, Kevin. We're at Flag Day. How would you grade the Cardinals season at this point?
Well, first of all, since this is Claiborne's favorite holiday, do I need to do my Mike Claiborne impersonation while we're doing this segment?
Yes.
Do I need to say, listen, man, when you get to Flag Day, you know it's time to make a decision. That's all I got, man. I mean, most of what I know from Claibs, we can't repeat on the air,
That's
so I got to be careful if I go any further.
Sometimes he shares that stuff on the air with us, Kevin.
He does.
Oh, he's the best, dude. I'm seriously, Claibs is like one of my favorite guys ever. He's so awesome.
He's got the best job ever, and he always says it's Flag Day. Kevin, Jeremy and I both basically said, the Cardinals a little bit below what we thought they would be. I don't know that it's crazy that they're this much below what we thought they'd be.
It's not crazy. It's just disturbing. I mean, we knew this was not going to be a juggernaut of a team, right? We knew this wasn't going to be, like a 100-win team or a team that, like in the past, was a favorite to go into the postseason and do damage. But we knew that. But I don't think it was unfair to expect them to be better at the things that derailed them last year, like catching the baseball, throwing to the right base, and running bases. I mean, I think that's a fair expectation for a major league team. And I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised that those things haven't gotten more better.
I would agree with that.
So Kevin, they make moves. Firing Chris Maloney, who was terrible at third base. They DFA Johnny Peralta, who was terrible this year, though that contract seemed to work out for the Cardinals because you knew the last year was probably you're going to eat it. But what do you make? Do you think that's going to make a big impact on this team?
I mean, I don't know about a big impact. I agree with you guys. I mean, you signed that contract with Peralta with the first couple of years more in mind than the last couple. And you needed him. And let's be honest, without him, you probably didn't have the success that you did at the time in those first couple of years.
Good call.
He was an all-star for this team. He was a good player for a period of time. And I think that, the contract itself, based on what you expect from contracts involving guys in their mid-30s, is about right. I mean, I got no issue with anything there. I'm not sure though if they're set the way that they are or not. I mean, I know that Mike Matheny loves the 8-man bullpen. I'm not sure how productive that is long term, but I also know that they don't have a ton of options for the bench at this point anyway. Since they traded away their best pinch hitter, Ben Matt Adams, they don't really have a bunch of guys lined up to take over bench spots there. So I mean, I guess it's hard for me to complain about that part of the roster structure right now.
Kevin, we talked about 2 weeks ago about how to make the Cardinals great again. And, you know, one of the things we talked about, and I don't mean to laugh at, we're not laughing at it, was Oscar Taveras, who obviously was going to play a big role in this Cardinals lineup for the next decade. How big of a blow is that, and how much of a blow did that make with regards to, obviously, you get rid of Beltran, and just with all the decisions then going forward? Have they caught up from that, I guess? Obviously not.
No. I mean, look, we don't know what he would have been. But the potential was there for him to be your long-term number 3-hole hitter. I mean, he was the guy that throughout his minor league career hit for a very high average and hit for power. And those kind of guys are difficult to find. I mean, and we look at this roster now, that's exactly what they're missing. So, you know, we don't know for sure that he would have been that. I mean, that's always the caveat here. But when you don't develop that guy, you have to buy that guy.
Right.
And they haven't done that yet. And we look at the recent development. The plan coming into the year was Matt Carpenter was going to be your 3-hole guy, and here's an on-base guy with 25-plus home run power. Thought, okay, well, this guy can be a run producer. And now it looks like he's back in the leadoff spot for good with Dexter Fowler hitting second. So now you have that gaping hole in the middle of the order. And what worries me, guys, is that while I like Steven Piscotty a lot, I don't think he really profiles as a number 3. Jed Jerko is a career 240-something hitter. I mean, we know regression is coming. In fact, it's already started. That OPS is below 700 for the month of June, and he's hit 1 home run in the last 30 days. And then, of course, Yachty hitting 5th is not helping. I mean, as much as I respect him and as much of an impact as he's still having on the defensive side, he's not a 5-hole hitter. So I guess, you know, when we look at the loss of Taveras and the inability to replace that kind of talent with another middle-of-the-order talent, you're kind of in an awkward spot now with a major need that's something that's really hard to fill.
How do you expect them to try to fill that? You know, J.D. Martinez is a free agent. He would seem to make a lot of sense, but it's going to cost a lot of money. I mean, how would you kind of go about that, Kevin?
You got to throw resources at it, whether it's money or prospects or both. And, you know, the problem with making a move in season for this year, guys, is anything you would do this year would also have to have an eye on the future because you're not really in position where a rental for a lot of prospects makes sense. And maybe you will be. Who knows? Maybe in a month you're 4 games up in the division. The way that it's going, anything's possible. But even that, 4 games up in the division when you're all hovering around 500 might not be the time to spend 3-4 top prospects to get a rental player. So if you're going to do something, you would think it would want to be done with an eye toward the future too. Now, if you're looking at free agency, I'd be all over J.D. Martinez. I think he is a really fantastic hitter. I mean, you're looking at 3 straight years of elite production from him. It's not a fluke. I mean, this guy is a legitimate 3- or 4-hole hitter on a good team. He hits 5th there, but that's only because Victor Martinez has seniority. He bats clean up behind Miguel Cabrera. And he's also a decent defender. He's not great, but he's decent. And I think they have to get out of the mode of waiting to see what they have with certain guys. I mean, I don't think we need to wait anymore on Randall Grichuk.
Yep.
He could still have a fine career, guys. I mean, there are a lot of players that are slightly late bloomers as major leaguers, and he's still young. But no matter what he does the rest of this year, we're still going to enter 2018 not knowing what he is. Will he be the guy that finishes strong? Will he be the guy that you have in the first 2 months that's just absolutely killing you? We don't know that. So when you have the opportunity to add a bat like that, I think you do it. Whether it costs money, whether it costs prospects, I don't know ultimately what it's going to take. But it's not just a power bat they need, guys. I mean, it's really that well-rounded obstacle in the middle of the order that the other team has to plan for, and they just don't have that.
Kevin, I've been saying I think you do build for the future. I mean, Cardinals fans are so used to playing for a championship this year, and I think with the way we're talking about it, I mean, they have so many holes, and they still have a young core and some developing talent in the minor leagues that might be a year or 2 away. I'm building for the 2018 you can be competitive. 2019 though, when Alex Reyes might be back to full strength, seems like a real year where you can give the Cubs a run because maybe the Cubs are having to figure it out again and retool a little bit. Lance Lynn, what do you do with him? Do you try to extend him or do you try to use him as a great trade piece?
I view him as being in the position that the Blues are in with Kevin Shattenkirk. And it's not the same because they don't have a salary cap with baseball. I mean, the Cardinals can spend whatever they want. But I just don't think it makes sense to throw a $100 million contract at a 30-year-old pitcher when you've already got a long-term deal on Mike Leake. You've got a long-term deal on Carlos Martinez. You've got another year for Adam Wainwright. You've got Waka under control for a number of years. You've got Weaver, Reyes, Alcantara, Dakota Hudson, Austin Gomber. I mean, they have legitimately, and Jack Flaherty, I didn't even mention, the guy that's been the biggest rock star so far this year. I don't see how you can justify spending $100 million on a starter when you have that much pitching in your organization. And now, an injury could change that. Carlos Martinez, knock on wood, God forbid, has to have Tommy John surgery before you have to make that call. Then maybe you do it because you want to make sure you're still going to be stable. But I mean, I think you almost have to look at replacing one starter per year over the next couple of years with your kids. And when you've got this many talented guys, I would tell you this right now, guys, barring injury, they will have at least 4 pitchers in the top 100 prospects next year. They're going to have Flaherty and Weaver are going to be there. Weaver's already there. Flaherty's been there in the past. And we know for a fact that Reyes will be in that mix, even coming off Tommy John. And then guys like Alcantara and Dakota Hudson are going to be pushing. So I don't see the urgency for spending $100 million on a guy that's 30 years old. So if that's a long way of saying, if I get a good offer for him in July, even if I'm in contention, I might do what the Blues did and say, look, we're going to move this guy and get something, but we have Luke Weaver who can step in. We have these other guys who can step into the rotation and keep us where we are.
Well said. Kevin Wheeler, a couple more minutes. Kevin Wheeler, you can follow him on Twitter at Kevin Wheeler 94. We've addressed almost everything. Let's look at the bullpen. It was actually Claves, and we got to give Claves credit today because it's Flag Day and it's his day. He mentioned one of those things, and I'm sure you guys have talked about it on your show, Kevin. With a guy like Michael Wacha, is he a guy that you could possibly push to that bullpen in a role? I don't want to say like Miller, like Travis Miller, but is he a guy you could possibly push down to that role because you'd have one of these younger kids like a Luke Weaver that you could bring up and see what could happen there? That would also address your bullpen issue?
I don't see a problem with that at all. In fact, I think if you get deeper in the season and you start to see some more slippage and you realize, again, we're going to run into the same thing if he has trouble the second half of the year, that to me is the best possible solution. I even see Wacha as a possible closer. Yeah. I mean, they could still consider trading Rosenthal, who they don't control that much longer. I think they only have another year after this year of control on him. And Solwano is a free agent at the end of the year. I mean, it's not that ridiculous to me to look, a couple of years down the road and think that this guy who throws upper 90s with a killer changeup could be a quality closer if it turns out that he's not going to have success as a starter. And look, his numbers are dramatic. Every time he goes through the order, the numbers get significantly worse. So when he's going through the first time, he's dominant. The second time, he's pretty good. The third time, it's a little rough. And that's been a trend now for several years. If that's not going to change with all of these guys we're talking about, then yes, that's a valid possibility. I think for that to happen this year, guys, it would probably take some kind of physical problem, some kind of recurrence of the shoulder fatigue or the stress reaction in the shoulder blade, where they would want to back down his workload because they really like the idea, and I don't disagree with this. They like the idea of him as a starter, but at some point, you got to be able to go out there and make 33 starts, and you've got to be able to be consistent. Otherwise, you might be better suited as a dominant pitcher in the 7th and 8th inning, or maybe the 9th, as opposed to a guy that can be really good for 3 or 4 innings, but then after that becomes a question mark.
Great call. Kevin Wheeler, 101 ESPN. Again, follow him on Twitter at Kevin Wheeler 94. Great show in St. Louis. Kevin, always appreciate the time. Thank you so much, sir.
You got it, fellas. Enjoy the celebration of Claves Day.
Thank you, Kevin.
Kevin Wheeler. Yeah. Good stuff there.
I mean, Lance Lynn, his value's got to be pretty high right now.
Yes.
I mean, because Cueto will probably be out there unless he decides he wants to stay in San Francisco. Right. He can stay into his contract. Lance Lynn's a valuable piece.
He really is.
And if you can get a top hitting prospect or a young hitter on a team, that would be really intriguing for me because I don't think they need to keep him and spend that kind of money on him. I'd rather spend that money in the offseason on J.D. Martinez.
Sure.
I'd rather spend $120 over 5 years on J.D. Martinez.
And that's the thing. The one thing I hadn't thought about, which was a cool comp, was the Kevin Shattenkirk with the Blues kind of deal. And like he said, the major difference is the Blues had to do that. They could not sign him due to the salary cap this year. So they had to basically say, all right, well, we're just going to lose him, or we may as well get something. Lance Lynn, they could still pay to get him and still maybe try to afford somebody big. But like he's saying, Flaherty pitched today. He was awesome down in the minors. That kid's coming along. Luke Weaver's been really good. I'm a little shocked that Weaver hasn't been called up, or at least been, seeing him at that level, because he's a kid I think that the Cardinals like, but you wonder if he's really that major league ready guy. It's interesting. Kevin and I normally agree on everything, and I told you yesterday, I would rather keep Lance Lynn because I know what I have. Sure. I know exactly what I have, and I know that he would be a solid guy in that rotation that every year you're going to look at and say, and he's had his Tommy John, right? You only have one of those.
And I expect him to continue that.
Yeah.
But if you think Weaver,
yes.
If you have trust in your young pitchers, which is always difficult, right?
That is difficult.
But I mean, you kind of signed Mike Leake for this purpose, right?
You did.
to exactly be a solid middle of the rotation guy. Do you want to spend more money on Lynn than you did on Carlos Martinez? You'd rather have faith and trust in your young pitchers. Alex Reyes, you hope, is full strength in a couple years. I think that's where your strength is. I'd rather spend that money. If it's just money at this point, right?
That's right.
I'd rather go all in on a guy like J.D. Martinez.
And I think now, and you and I know this, and we preach this all the time, it's all about the years as opposed to the money. If Lance Lynn wants to sign a 3-year deal for $60, then I'd be fine with that, I think. Yeah. But if he's wanting 5 or more, then that's a real risk at a 30-year-old guy.
We'll talk about what moves the Cubs need to make with Chris Emma, 670thescore.com at 4:05. Dan Hayes, CSN Chicago at 4:30. How much can the White Sox get for some of their guys who are on the trade market? If you want to weigh in, White Sox, Cubs, Cardinals fans, 359-2255. That's 217-359-2255. You can call us on the Jupiter's The Crossing phone line or text the Chief Bauer text line.
It is update time.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkman with the 3:30 Sports Center update presented by State Farm agent John Kaywood. Life insurance is one of those subjects that makes people want to change the subject rather than admit they probably don't have enough. Find out how the benefits of life insurance can live on for your family. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood in Champaign at 217-367-1105. Jeff Goodman of ESPN is reporting that Illinois State grad transfer Mikael McIntosh told ESPN that he will play at Oregon. Illini are not in the top 7 for Houston Griffith, son of Illini great Howard Griffith. Here are Houston's top 7. Florida State, Penn State, Texas, Alabama, Nebraska, Ohio State, and Notre Dame. I see nothing but blue bloods there. The Illini named the finalists for the Male Dyke Edelman Award, which is presented to the Male Athlete of the Year. Here are the finalists. Sophomore Alex Deeb of gymnastics, Malcolm Hill of basketball, David Kenziera of track, Dylan LaFord, cross country, Isaiah Martinez, wrestling, Pat McKierney, baseball, Dylan Meyer, golf, and Alec Vukic of tennis. Hap, grand slam, Hayward, 2-run bomb, Bryant, 2-run blast, Baez, 2-run homer, and Rizzo, a solo shot. The trip around the bases was a common theme for the Cubs last night in the 14-3 win over the Mets in Gotham. Every single player in the starting lineup picked a hit as well in the contest. Lester wasn't too shabby at all either. He gave up 5 hits and 1 earned run in 7 innings pitched. The two teams lock up tonight at 6:10 from New York City. It's Matt Harvey versus Mike Montgomery, listed on US 105.9. Things weren't too rosy for the Cardinals last night at home in the second game of the doubleheader against the Brewers. They fell 8-5. The two teams were tied at 5, and then Trevor Rosenthal gave up 3 runs and 2 hits. And the White Sox, they defeated the Orioles 6-1 last night from the rate. And the Philadelphia Eagles, they've signed Jason Peters to a 1-year extension.
Yeah,
squeezing that one in there.
Can you stay on the mic here? Is he going to make 30? Is he going to make $32 million, Jason Peters, this year?
Yeah, it's quite a contract, but he will retire as an Eagle and he will be a Hall of Famer in an Eagles jersey.
Okay.
How much does that matter? Like, why do we care so much about that?
But I do.
To retire or something? Like, they signed that day contract to retire.
Because you want that guy to be always known as a Philadelphia Eagle and not the other team that he played for.
And see, I didn't know if this was an era
Did Peters
thing.
play for the Bills?
Yeah, he played for the Bills, and then they traded him to the Eagles.
I didn't know if this was more of an era thing because the younger we get, or in other words,
because like me, Michael Jordan, going to the Wizards, it's kind of like, why'd you have to do that?
Right.
But at the same time, it's not like, oh, people are going to remember him as a Wizard now.
That's true.
Did he sign a 1 year deal, a 1 day deal to the Bulls after the Wizards?
He didn't. That's interesting. But
he was like in ownership of the Wizards.
Yeah. And you know how everything goes in eras. I mean, back in the day, people just stayed. Yeah. That's what they did.
Well, they were forced to.
Well, they were forced to, right? But that's what they did. And now, now kids today, like my kids,
that dang Kurt Flood.
My kids today, I mean, they're used to these kids just going everywhere, athletes going everywhere. So I don't think it's a big deal anymore. I think it's more of a big deal for guys my age or older because you just love the novelty of it, I guess.
I get going into the Hall of Fame with a certain cap or whatever it is.
Sure.
But the whole retiring a certain team.
I know.
Like, do we honestly remember that very
I don't know,
much?
but like I think of that with like Yachty.
Like, if Frank Thomas signed a 1 day contract with the White Sox, okay, that's nice, but I'm not going to remember that. I'm going to remember him hitting 340 and 30-something home runs in his MVP season.
No,
right?
and that's fair. And but I sit there and I think, oh my gosh, if Yachty signed with another team, like if I had to watch a game and Yachty was catching on another team.
Blue Jays uniform?
Oh, I'd be like, what are you doing, Yachty? But that's how it is. And some guys, I think it takes a certain athlete or a certain guy to be that special to a city.
Well, I get it. Like, Frank, once he left and he had that MVP season with the A's, or he should have won MVP.
Right.
Remember, it was Toronto because Giambi was, it was the A's, but Giambi was awesome with the Yankees and he was steroided up.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of enjoyed, but it kind of hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
But towards the end, when he was really struggling, I wasn't like, oh, God, Frank's in another uniform. I was like, no, we got Paul Canerco. I'm glad Frank's gone, right?
At that point, it worked out for you, exactly.
I do want to get to this. Mikhail McIntosh to Oregon. That's been expected for a long time. So he seems to fit that scheme very well, and Oregon's a very good basketball program.
He's the Illinois State kid, of course.
Yeah, Illinois State grad transfer. I know Wisconsin was interested in him. Minnesota was interested in him. So
I'm glad he didn't go to those two.
Yeah, not in the Big Ten, so that's a good thing for Illinois. But the other news, and this might hurt for some people, Houston Griffith does not have Illinois in his top 7.
Ooh.
This is not surprising to me.
No.
It has been, when Lovey got hired, it felt like there was a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Illinois and Tim Beckman were the first to offer him. Like, Tim Beckman was here.
Wow.
That was a long time ago that Tim Beckman was here. But they were the first to offer him. His top 7, though, includes Florida State, Penn State, Texas, Alabama, Nebraska, Ohio State, and Notre Dame.
Okay.
He did not put USC, UCLA. Like, there are so many top programs he did not put in here.
Absolutely.
Just knowing this recruitment just a little bit, and I've talked to Howard before. This kid's looking to go to one of the best programs in the country, the best facilities in the country, and be an NFL player.
Yeah,
that's what he wants to do. It's going to be very hard for Illinois to win some like this, most like this. Trevor Trout didn't have him. He's a 4-star prospect out of St. Louis. Ayodele Adeoye from St. Louis is a linebacker. Texas and Illinois were his final 2. He really liked Illinois. For a lot of kids, it's hard to pick Illinois when they haven't proven anything. Even if Lovie Smith is here, Lovie can get you in those battles. It's hard to close those.
That's more of a risk.
That's why a guy like Kendrick Green was so big last year. Ricky Smalling was so big last year. It's good to get a couple of those kids each year, and then you build on it, build on it. That's why Virtus Brown is big, because Virtus has a real interest. But you're battling Ohio State. You're battling Michigan. It's very difficult when Illinois is behind facilities.
Yep.
They haven't won games, right? And there's just not a sexiness to it. But Lovie Smith is there.
Right.
But you need it's a more difficult sell when you're going against the Texas, Alabamas, Nebraskas, Ohio States, Notre Dames of the world.
Can I say that it's actually refreshing of what he did? Is that fair? Yes, I wanted Houston Griffith here. Yes, I wanted him in our secondary. Yes, I wanted him to play 2, 3, 4 years, whatever.
He's a defensive back, top 100 prospect, safety.
Yep. And Howard's son. He's Howard's son, for all you out there that didn't realize that. So immediately you think, well, come on, why aren't you going to Illinois? Your dad did. And yes, he did. And Howard Griffith achieved a lot of success here. And it was a different time when Howard was here. Of course, he was a big difference for that.
I mean, I don't think Howard had offers like Houston did.
No.
I bet Howard would tell you if he had the offers Houston did. probably wouldn't have ended up at Illinois.
Without a doubt. But I think it's refreshing in the sense that I don't have to sit here now and worry. All right, hey, listen, we're top 7 for Houston Griffith.
Would you rather? I want to ask Austin Berkland this as well, since he's an Illinois fan. Because you were upset that Trevor Trout didn't have Illinois in his top 9. Like, would you have rather had Trevor Trout list Illinois in his top 10, and you know you're not going to get picked, or in Houston Griffith to have a top 8 and Illinois be in there, or just not be in there at all?
I mean, it's a good look for the university.
I agree. It's good
have just that graphic and seeing that Illinois logo. I mean, it gives other recruits say, hey, he has us Illinois in the top 9.
Yeah.
But that's really the only reason. And especially with 2 guys that are so close to the Illinois program, one with Howard Griffith and the other being from St. Louis and Trevor Trout.
Good call.
So I know they're not going to pick Illinois in the ultimate end, but it's nice to just get that nice little pub.
I agree with you there. It is a good look.
I would rather have that.
Right.
I'd rather have you just even if the staff knows they're probably not going to come here, right?
Sure.
But it's nice to be named with those schools.
It totally is. But I know if Houston Griffith would have come out with 7 or 8 and Illinois is on that, I'm like, he's doing that because of Howard. That's it. I mean, he's doing that because of that only. He's not going to come to Illinois.
Point is,
well, to me, I don't mind. And maybe in a guy like that, I think it's just gotten to the point with recruiting that if some of these guys you just know early on you're not going to get. Yeah. So I'd rather not sit there and be hung on and just sit there and think, oh, hey, we got a shot.
Like Carlton Bragg.
Well, I mean, you would know you're not hung on if you read IlliniInquirer.com.
Well, good call.
The reporting.
Where is our bell?
I don't know.
Somebody find the bell.
We've got 7 interns here.
Interns, go find the bell. That is your duty today. Where the heck is our bell? Who steals a bell?
Who does steal a bell? Austin, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. And he's right. I mean, it all comes down to, all right, the tweet goes out, hey, Illinois is on there, and then that's it. But listen, for me, it's like, all right, I'm moved on now from Houston Griffith, and now he can go to Alabama and do great things.
Has your I thought Illinois might be in this a little longer because of Lovie Smith. Are we learning that he's a draw and he's getting you in with some recruits and getting you in battles that Beckman couldn't?
Yes.
But he alone, I don't think, wins you as many recruitments as maybe some of us thought.
It hasn't been a slap in the face to me by any means.
Because, last year you signed a good class.
He did, yeah. He had a great class last year. But this year has kind of brought me back to sobriety, if you will, of saying, all right, hold on. Now, not just because Lovie Smith's your coach, you're just going to go out and nail a top 30 class every season. But I think it is a situation where you like the fact that he's at least getting you involved in guys that you didn't have a chance before, right? And I think if Lovie, that's where it's so imperative. And it would be if Tim Beckman was here. It's so imperative to win games. And, it's the chicken or the egg. Yeah. You need the recruits to win the games, but yet you need to win games and have a nice stretch going before you can get those top recruits. That's where you've got to be evaluators. And that's where I'm hoping Brad Underwood and this staff is at Illinois right now to get Illinois back to where we think it should be as basketball. Right now, it's not just going out and plucking the top players in the country. Now, they got lucky with Mark Smith. I don't want to say lucky. They worked for that. Yeah. But it's like you've got to find guys that will get you in that top half of the Big Ten, and then from there it's more doable to go get recruits. And that's what Lovie's task is now. Get in the top half of that West Division first of all, and then start from there.
Be Iowa, be Wisconsin.
Yeah. Just try to get into that
and
top
every
half.
once in a while, Iowa and Wisconsin will get a great recruit.
Yeah, exactly.
A 5-star recruit. Yep. They'll get a couple 4 stars. They get 3 stars really who fit their scheme. And yes, at some point, you want to be the program that's getting 5 and 4 stars, and Michigan State turned into that, and it's actually not gone well for them.
No, it hasn't right now.
So I'm not saying don't go after those kids because they're the most talented. You got to have talent to win games. But I've always thought it's going to be a build like Wisconsin and Iowa, and I think you have a staff that can evaluate like that.
I agree.
I still think they need to make some tweaks in recruiting. I think they need to add some more recruiters to their staff, and I'll continue to say it. When they add the 10th assistant, I think Nathan Schuhaus is a slam.
No, that'd be great. I'd love that.
Nate has a little bit of experience, but talking to people even in the business who have known Nate, they think he's going to be great.
That's awesome.
And he's already starting to do a little bit on campus, and he had a couple weeks where Hardy was out of commission where he was able to get on the road, and he had a great reaction from coaches and players and prospects. But I do think you need to add another experienced guy, whether it's bringing somebody from the MAC that is experienced, knows how to, has those relationships. Thad Ward was that.
Right.
I think you could use another one of those guys especially in the city of Chicago and the suburbs.
Well, if Lovey had the energy or had the ability 365 days a week to be out there a year to be out there recruiting, but he can't.
Yeah, he's the Saban rule hurts them.
Yes.
It hurts them a lot because he is their top recruiter.
Yes, without a doubt.
He gets into homes, he gets into high schools. It wows people away. And that's why I think Illinois can do a lot of their damage every year in November, December, and January. Because that's when he's on the road.
Oh, that's correct.
Right? That's when he gets on the road, but a lot of kids have made their decisions by then. You need guys who can get you in recruitments early, keep you in them, and then Lovey comes and slams the door.
Boom.
I think Thad, I think Garrick McGee, I've been surprised by him, but Luke Butkus has been really good on the recruiting trail.
He's really done a great job.
You're not going to have a bunch of aces. You need some good coaches on your staff, but I do think they need a little bit more help. Donnie Abraham, as exciting as he is, he's not done this. Right? So he's an unproven guy as well. Nathan Schuhaus is a more proven recruiter than Donnie Abraham.
And you got to remember that a 17-year-old kid may not know who Donnie Abraham is.
Yeah.
Now, he can Google it. Thank goodness for the technology world, but you're right.
Schuhaus is perfect because he's known in Chicago. These kids watched him growing up.
And he represents Illinois.
He's known in St. Louis.
Yep.
He's from Kansas City.
Yeah. I mean, those are three nice areas.
Great areas for recruiting. He's a former Illini and just a phenomenal person that is going to kill it with kids and kill it with parents.
One of the nicest I've ever met. As nice as the kid that's coming in at 5 o'clock today, Malcolm Hill. That's very similar what they are. And I read an article today about what Lovie Smith's impact can be. Yeah, I read an article about that, so it's good.
When we come back, they say there's always truth in a joke.
Okay.
Or there's truth in jest. There's a new commercial out that is hilarious. But I need to dissect it.
Okay.
I need to dissect it with you a little bit.
Okay,
more.
that's fine. We'll do that because I think I heard it today, and I know what you're talking about. If you want to weigh in, 359-2255. Never fear, Cubbies and White Sox fans. Next hour, it's all about you. Chris Emma at 670thescore.com will join us talk Cubs at 4:05. Dan Hayes, CSN Chicago, to talk White Sox at 4:30. And then the aforementioned Malcolm Hill, he'll be here in the 5 o'clock hour. Can't wait to visit with Malcolm and roll out the show with him. Can't wait, again, to ask him about the NBA. And I don't mean about him playing in the NBA. We will. But just about this last season and what he thought of Kevin Durant and LeBron in that finals. We'll do it all next. Busy show. It's the Tay and J Show.
Are you looking for a new home or planning to refinance your existing home? Hi, this is Todd Duracon from First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana, getting you and your home faster with loan closings in 30 days. Mortgage loans and refinancing that's fast, friendly, and local. We invite you to visit our experienced team of mortgage experts to find out how First Federal Savings Bank can help you with your loan closing in 30 days. For more information, visit 356bank.com. First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana. Get what you want out of life. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You check things all the time, like your email every 10 seconds, or your ex's Instagram. But what about checking something as important as your credit? Well, Discover makes it quick, easy, and best of all, free. Discover is now offering FICO credit scores to everyone for free, even if you're not a customer. And checking your score won't hurt your credit. We call it the Discover Credit Scorecard. And once you know your score, you should check to see if your current credit card is the best fit for you. Check your credit, compare your card. Go to discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
You buy Community Credit Union for campus and community.
When you think about summer, what comes to mind? Sunshine, picnics, ice cream, and double points. That's right, double points all summer long with the Illini Visa Rewards Card and the U of I Community Credit Union. Now through the end of summer, use your Illini Visa Rewards Card on purchases for gas, groceries, and restaurants and score double points. Plus, you can score an extra bonus 1,000 points with your Illini Visa for 20 or more transactions each month. Use those points to purchase once-in-a-lifetime trips and experiences. Not a member yet? Visit IlliniCard.org today.
Oh, hey, hi, hello there. It's me, your air conditioner. You can call me AC if you want, but Mr. Conditioner is my dad's name. Okay, listen, you may have noticed that I'm using a lot of energy right now, and that's why you need to call an expert. Yep, the experts can give me a precision tune-up, so you'll save up to 30% on energy bills, and I won't have to work so hard, which is great because I'm about to pass out.
At Chief Bauer Service Experts, save $41 off an AC Precision Tune-Up. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com. For expert service guaranteed.
Call 8
866 Experts.
Going on 5 years, Rock's Place in St. Joseph has become the neighborhood sports bar and grill for a lot of folks in the area. Rock's Place is known for their delicious burgers, and they also have great daily food and drink specials. Plus, Rock's has plenty of TVs, so you can keep tabs on the Cubs and Cardinals all summer long. And while you're there, press your luck on one of Melody Music's video gaming machines. For delicious food, cold drinks, and good company, make it Rock's Place, 101 North Main Street in St. Joseph. Find them on Facebook, ROCHS in St. Joseph.
Your four-legged friends need protection too. Pet insurance from Pekin Insurance covers cats and dogs at least 6 weeks of age or older as an enhancement to your homeowner's coverage. Choose between $2,500 or $5,000 worth of coverage for a variety of pet health services. You can even take your pet to the veterinarian of your choice. Learn more at PekinInsurance.com or ask your local agent about how to protect your furry family members. For pet insurance that is beyond the expected, contact Pekin Insurance today.
This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. Are you getting the attention you deserve from your broker? When you partner with Provident, you get an advisor who stays focused on you and your family. We work for you. Contact us today to schedule a consultation. Find us online at ProvidentFinancialGroupLLC.com. Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network.
Provident, partnerships built on trust.
Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday morning 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Win great Illini apparel, gear, and novelty items each week right here on the Tay and J Show.
Woo!
Later on today, we'll play Game Day Spirit's Wheel of Games. That's in the 5 o'clock hour. Maybe we should have Malcolm decide what we do.
That'd be cool.
To win great Fighting Illini prizes, Game Day Spirit located on Green Street on South Neal and online at GameDaySpirit.com. Game Day Spirit, a proud sponsor of ESPN 93.5's Tay and J Show and the official fan store of the Fighting Illini.
All right, so the Ball family has been a big topic of discussion around the sports world for about, 2 months? 2-3 months?
I mean, most of the season. LeVar is doing interviews on the sideline.
He's an interesting dude.
You know who's to blame on?
Us, the media.
The media.
Well, right. The media is always to blame.
That's right.
For everything. But I did love today what came out. And I had nothing against the kid ever. I never had a problem with the kid. But today, when I heard this, I'm like, I love that kid.
All right. So this is a Foot Locker commercial
Okay.
with a bunch of NBA draft prospects about Father's Day.
Okay.
Which is this weekend.
James stutter steps on the arc. Now excited.
That would be LeBron. Nope, Corver didn't hit a three, by the way.
Did you do intro one or a short one?
I did intro one.
It's short
so
one.
It's short one. That's my bad. That was
That
was a lawn technical error. Yeah. I just wanted everybody to know how skinny Kyle Korver was. Where did he get so skinny?
It is short one.
Okay, here we go.
With Father's Day and the draft so close together,
Foot Locker asked us to reflect on everything dads do for us
on our journeys to the NBA. Dads are special. So many memories.
All those games of one-on-one in the driveway where he let me win.
Just never missing a game. Of course, there's that big day when your dad berates your high school coach in front of an entire crowd for not getting you enough touches. Waking up early to drive to all those faraway tournaments. Or that special moment when your dad sits you down and tells you where you're going to college. Copyright your name to make it a part of a family lifestyle brand. Went on First Take and shouted back and forth with Stephen A. Smith about how you're already better than the reigning league MVP. All those interviews from the stands during college games, the public spats with the all-time greats, soundbite after soundbite to the national media, and then tells 29 out of 30 teams to not bother drafting you. And fishing. We went fishing a lot.
That's the best part of it right there.
One, kudos to Foot Locker, because they are getting so many hits.
Oh.
I don't know the last time I've been to Foot Locker.
No, right.
I mean, I'm not a shoe guy.
I think there is one here at the mall.
I'm not a shoe guy.
No, nor here.
And I'm wearing Birkenstocks right now. That tells you my fashion shoes.
Whoever made these that I'm wearing, I've worn them for a year.
Yeah.
They made them too well. Yeah, they made them too well.
So that's good. 2, Lonzo, credit to you.
Yes.
Because your Q rating went up today. Not that you needed much more.
Right.
People like you now.
Yep.
I think most people have liked him for the most part. He doesn't say a lot.
Yeah, he's kind of quiet.
But he's being part of the joke.
Yep.
But also, this could be genius marketing by Lonzo and LeVar.
Sure.
Because they're getting talked about more today.
No doubt.
Their brand will get talked about more today. But also, is there a little truth in what Lonzo is doing? Because, he loves his father. And his father, no matter what you think of him, has created an environment where Lonzo is where he is today. Without LeVar, Lonzo is not where he is today. So no matter what you think of all the gusto, all the pompous things he says, he's created an environment where Lonzo is going to be a top 5 pick in the draft.
We will do anything, and your parents did the same. We will do anything for you to succeed as a son or a daughter. That's what parents do. We have you in our best interest as we go through life, and whatever decisions we make should be made that it's in your best interest that you can succeed in life. Most of us don't have a son that's going to be a number 2 pick in the NBA draft or number 1. I don't think he's going to go 1. So it's one of those where, yes, is he at fault for a lot of things he did? Has he looked dumb? Has he said a lot of stupid things? Absolutely. Were they always with his son in the best interest? Most of them. And I think that's the one thing I take away from this is that I think parents, we try to do the best. And a lot of us will even tell you we have failed at certain points. There are certain times where I say stuff to my boys that I should not have said. Or maybe I've said something that I'm like, I wish I wouldn't have said that.
I don't think LeVar regrets anything.
But you're probably right with him. I doubt he does.
Because do you think there's a point where he's like, why do they keep bringing me, Russillo brought up, why do they keep bringing me on these shows? I'm just going to say something stupid to help my brand and make money off this. So is this genius marketing
it's both.
By LeVar, or is this Lonzo actually hitting his dad a little bit?
I think it's both. I honestly think it's both.
There's got to be some truth in what Lonzo is saying there, right?
Every child out there would love to do a little dig at their dad or mom for something that they've done in the past. There's no doubt it's both. It's both, but it's brilliant. Yeah. And I think it's hilarious. In the end, where we did fishing. We fished a lot. I think that's a beautiful way to end
I forgot
that
what
show.
Prospect that was. Yeah. Oh, fishing. Went fishing a lot.
We went fishing a lot. So, no, I think that was brilliant. Brilliant on football.
We don't like bringing up the LeVar Ball conversation because I'm just not done with it, but that was pretty well done.
It was. It was totally well done.
All right, we'll continue our Flag Day check-in with all 3 Major League Baseball teams. We cover the Cardinals this hour.
Yeah,
Coming up next, Chris Emma from 670 The Score will break down the Cubs. What move do they have to make? And we'll talk some White Sox. What moves can they make? How can they help replenish that farm system even more?
If it's all right with you, I'm going to set out the first segment when we talk Cubs. I'm just going to go and eat my sandwich. And by the way, I stole a sandwich from my son today. Is that a good Father's Day move?
I mean, he can fight for it.
He ate better than I did.
Years old.
He ate better than I did. Happy Flag Day, everybody. Yes! Dough is the original Calzone company, and they cater all types and sizes of events, from office orders to private parties to entire visiting football teams. Everyone will be sure to enjoy something different than the same old sandwiches or pizza. DP Dough also delivers to nearly all of Champaign, Urbana, and Savoy until late at night. So give them a call or order online when you're hungry and no one else is delivering. With over 1 million calzones served since opening in 2006, DP Dough is sure to satisfy and fill you up. DP Dough, the original calzone company.
The official fan store of the Fighting Illini is moving. Game Day Spirit, currently located at 1422 South Neal Street, is moving to the corner of Neal and Kirby in Champaign this July. In the meantime, they're preparing for the lowest prices of the season to be available during their moving sale in June. Stay tuned for more information and follow them on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram by searching Game Day Spirit. Stay in the know of all things Game Day and all things Fighting Illini with Game Day Spirit, the official fan store of the Fighting Illini.
American Cancer Society's Relay for Life is coming to downtown Champaign on Saturday, June 17th at Westside Park from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Our Illinois National Guard will bring their 40-foot climbing wall. Joyful Bubbles will be there with food from Hendrick House, treats from Sydney Dairy Barn's Moo-Mobile. Remember, a cancer survivor as you buy a Luminaria.
June 17th in downtown Champaign's Westside Park. Details on Facebook or head to relayforlife.org/champagne.
Hey Cardinals fans, a big weekend of giveaways is coming up when the Pittsburgh Pirates make their way to St. Louis on June 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Friday night, it's the Adult Cardinals Pullover presented by Monsanto. Saturday, the Bob Gibson Bobblehead, part 1 of the 2-part Final Out Bobblehead series presented by AT&T. Sunday, it's the Kids Fredbird Bobblehead giveaway, June 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Tickets available at cardinals.com/promotions. There's only one Cardinals baseball.
Tolono Fun Day starts June 23rd on Friday with the 5K run and walk and kids stash with help from Busey Bank Tolono. Be a part of the Tolono Twilight Track, then the free family movie in the park with Moana, including free popcorn thanks to Tolono Monocle. All day, June 24th, Tolono has festivities to the Boom Boom Boys do their fireworks show at 9:15 on June 24th, sponsored by Brian's Buildings in Tolono. Support the Tolono Fun Day Festival by getting your golf cart raffle ticket thanks to Battery Specialist plus Golf Carts. Facebook has all the details. Just search Tolono Fun Day.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Live from New York, the Fox Report.
I'm Lisa Brady, and this is a Fox News Alert.
What happened this morning was unconscionable.
The managers of the congressional baseball teams just holding a bipartisan news conference in the aftermath of the shooting at a baseball practice in Virginia.
And he was doing it simply because apparently he didn't like the political climate.
Texas Republican Congressman Joe Barton and his 10-year-old son were not injured, but 5 people were, including House Majority Whip Steve Scalise, who was shot in the hip. Because of his leadership position, he has a security detail, and those Capitol officers are credited with preventing a potential massacre. The gunman was killed by return fire. He is identified as 66-year-old James Hodgkinson, who had ranted against Republicans online and had been recently living out of a duffel bag after driving to the D.C. area from Illinois.
We are united. We are united in our shock. We are united in our anguish.
House Speaker Paul Ryan's sentiment echoed by House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi.
And we will use this occasion as one that brings us together and not separates us further.
Pelosi also says she prays for the success and safety of President Trump, and he, too, is appealing for unity. The annual congressional baseball game for charity is still scheduled for tomorrow night. A deadly shooting rampage at a UPS building in San Francisco. 6 people shot, 4 dead, including the gunman.
One contact team located the suspect, who was still armed with an assault pistol. The suspect put the gun to his head and discharged the weapon.
Assistant Police Chief Tony Chaplin says the shooter was in a UPS uniform, but they're not sure yet if he was an employee. The Dow up 46 points on the day, another record close, but the S&P and the NASDAQ finished lower. On the Fox Report, fair and balanced.
If you run your own business, when you're not on the job, you're on the road. In your van. Signs that say detour and do not enter are just plain bad for business. Well, here's a sign that's great for business. It says 0% financing and up to 2 years complimentary scheduled maintenance on Mercedes-Benz Sprinter or Metris vans. Powerful, capable, and affordable. That's Mercedes-Benz Van Power. With pioneering safety technologies and low total cost of ownership, Mercedes-Benz vans are the right choice for your business. Check out the full lineup of Mercedes-Benz vans starting at just $25,995. 0% financing and up to 2 years complimentary scheduled maintenance. That's van power for all. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Starting at price refers to base model Metris worker cargo van. Excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Please see your dealer or go to mvvans.com for further details and exclusions.
Today's shooting during a baseball practice in Virginia raising questions about security for members of Congress. Only certain lawmakers in leadership positions have a security detail.
I bet you most members of Congress would tell you they don't want any personal detail. I certainly don't.
But Pennsylvania Congressman Mike Boyle, the Democrats' team manager, says more security may be warranted when multiple lawmakers are together in an open area. No word yet on the cause of a fire that turned a London high-rise into a deadly inferno.
The 24-story tower is charred and black. Police here saying 12 people were killed, but that they expect that number to rise. Another 78 people were hospitalized. 18 of them are critically injured. Among those those who survived, there's relief, concern for friends and neighbours, many still unaccounted for, and also some anger at how the fire could spread so quickly. In London, Simon Owen, Fox News.
The Federal Reserve announces its third interest rate hike in 6 months, citing moderate economic growth.
As far as it relates to the long-term projections here, the FOMC maintaining the expectation of 3 rate hikes this year. Inflation, they dropped their projection from March of earlier this year from 1.9% down to 1.6%.
Fox Business Network's Blake Berman. The juries are still out in 2 high-profile cases. In Minnesota, a judge telling jurors to keep going, deliberating the manslaughter case against a police officer who says he saw a gun before shooting a black motorist during a traffic stop. They've been deliberating for 2.5 days. And at the Bill Cosby sexual assault trial in Pennsylvania, day 3 of deliberations, the jury asking its 5th question. Today they wanted a readback of some of the accuser's description of what happened. Bill Cosby says whatever happened was consensual. In New York, I'm Lisa Brady on Fox News Radio.
Man, that was an interesting intern discussion.
Death draft.
Definitely we're doing that.
Harry was sitting there going, because you had some article, it's like, you'll never believe what this python did.
Yeah, this python ate an alligator and hated it.
And then Harry was like, have you ever thought of getting eaten by a snake? I'm like, no, I haven't.
No, I haven't either. And then he's talking about pushing yourself out of the snake.
And I was like, you'd either be suffocated or poisoned to death by that time. So I'm not worried about it.
I want to be dead if I'm getting eaten by a snake.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you comfortable all year long. Call 866-EXPERTS or you can visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Tonight, a low of 73 degrees. Tomorrow, could get some more rain. High 92, low 67. Thunderstorms possible Friday. High 93, low 70. Right now, hot 93 degrees in Champaign-Urbana.
I ran out to get a hat out of my truck. It is windy right now.
Yeah, it's going to drop in temperature.
No doubt. Storm's coming. This is so funny. Like, Andrew's got a game tonight, and I thought about throwing like a little jacket in there for the game, and I thought, Lon, it's 96 degrees or whatever, and now watch, I'm going to need it. You just can't ever be prepared in Illinois. You just can't do it.
We are celebrating Flag Day here on the Tay and J Show. As our boy Claves always says, this is the time of year where you can really evaluate what teams are in Major League Baseball. And we're checking in on both the Cardinals, the Cubs, and the White Sox. We talked Cardinals with Kevin Wheeler, 101 ESPN last hour. Some great conversation with him. He does think they should trade Lance Lynn.
Yes.
Before the deadline and get something, especially if they get a good offer for him.
No doubt.
He'd rather spend that money on a hitter, and he likes J.D. Martinez just like us in free agency.
That'd be all right with that. So what do the Cubs do? They just, they've got to realize at this point, everything's done. They got their World Series. Now I would just bail ship, sell everything off, and just move on, right? Okay, I'm kidding. I wouldn't actually do that. But the Cubs aren't doing what they did last year, and what's the problem? Let's bring on Chris Emma, 670thescore.com. Chris, how are you, my friend?
Happy Flag Day to you and yours, gentlemen. Had to be careful with that one.
Hey, you hesitated.
We did
there.
not have to drop you for that.
Right.
Well, Chris, I know you're doing a lot of Bears stuff, but you do cover the Cubs as well, and I'm really interested to see what your thoughts are. 64 games into the year,
right?
And this team is 500. What do you make of why this has happened with this team?
Guys, it's really hard to explain. I mean, it's just it was really hard to see this coming. If you would have said where would they be on Flag Day at 64 games in, I would have said probably 10 over 500.
Yeah.
And you just look at the lineup, look at the talent that was all around from the World Series run, this homegrown talent, so many young pieces. It's really hard to imagine them being even 500 at 32-32, but this team has just not been good enough this year. I mean, you've had slumping bats with individuals really needing to kick it up, and the pitching staff is quite alarming. Not to mention the defense is down as well.
Right.
So all three aspects of their games have really been underwhelming. I wouldn't worry as much about the bats from anybody like Schwarber to Rizzo, who's been kind of rounding to form as of late. Addison Russell, you're talking about young players. Slumps are natural. These kind of things are going to happen for these guys. But you look at that pitching staff, it's really concerning. I mean, now that you have Kyle Hendricks on the disabled list, you're really fighting trying to see what you have in Eddie Butler. John Lackey, I think the jury's kind of out there, and it's not good. Really, John Lester's your best chance to win 1 out of 5 days. The Cubs have some major issues right now going with this rotation. That's not to mention Jake Arrieta, who continues to struggle.
Yeah, and Jake leads them in wins, ironically, with 6. But, Chris, so what do they do? Obviously, this is a team that I don't think any of us are panicked on with regards to being able to win the NL Central. But when you look at that pitching, and especially like you said with Hendricks down, now you've got basically 3 glaring spots out of 5 every time through the rotation. Do they go out and get a short-term fix as, AKA, let's say, a Johnny Cueto, or do they try to get somebody that's maybe not as big of a name, if you will, to just try to fill spots for not only now but for the future?
If I'm the Cubs, I'm looking at getting 2 guys for the rotation. And I look for one guy who's on a team-friendly kind of, easy cost deal. And the names that come to mind, of course, Jose Quintana is the first one that comes to mind. I'd probably rule that out. Chris Archer is the other one that I like, and Sonny Gray. And if those guys can show some kind of effectiveness this year and look like, the kind of pitchers they're capable of being, I'd make a move for a Gray or Archer. I'd be willing to give up somebody like Eloy Jimenez, who's their top prospect right now, because he's just another outfielder to the mix, and they got plenty of outfielders there. I'd also look to trade somebody like Jamer Candelario for, let's say, Jeremy Hellickson or Alex Cobb, a guy who's in the last year of a deal. Both of those guys are, and could be available here at the market, at the trade deadline. So I'd be looking for a short-term deal, a stopgap for this year, and a long-term guy, somebody who can be a piece for this rotation for a while to come. Because you look ahead to next year, and Jake Arrieta is most likely out the door. John Lackey's certainly out the door. Both of those guys in the final year of deals. So you're looking at this rotation right now for next year being John Lester, Kyle Hendricks, and Mike Montgomery, and that's it. So you need to find an answer, because you're not going to get you're going to be hard-pressed to find 2 quality fits for yourself in the free agency next year. I'd be looking ahead trying to get somebody in the free agent market. And if you have to give up somebody like Eloy Jimenez for Sonny Gray, I think that's well worth it.
Where's Edwin Jackson and Jake Peavy when you need him?
Chris Emma,
Edwin Jackson, 1 away from the all-time team record.
Yeah.
He's his 13th team now.
That's great.
That basement's got to look great, though, with all those jerseys.
That'd be awesome.
It's got to be phenomenal. Chris Emma, 670thescore.com. You can follow him on Twitter, @CEmma670. What do you make of Joe Madden this year, especially with that lineup? His use of that lineup and trying to get all these young guys the playing time they need, and losing Dexter Fowler and trying to fill that hole. How do you think he's performed this year?
I think he's performed fine. It's hard to really put much on him, but you look at the lineup now to Anthony Rizzo leading off, and a lot of it reeks of desperation, to be honest. Joe's not somebody who's going to give up on a player, and he's not going to call them out. He's not going to express his frustration with struggles from young players. But you see what he's doing now. He's plugging a 3-hitter into the leadoff spot, trying to get something out of that, in terms of getting on base from that leadoff spot at the top of the order. It's starting to look desperate. The Kyle Schwarber thing made sense from a baseball perspective because he's somebody who can get on base and give you a good at-bat, and for whatever reason, the season's been a major struggle for him at this point. So I like that. Ben Zobrist now is dealing with a wrist injury. It looks like he might be headed to the disabled list. John Jay's not an everyday player. Albert Almora's not going to get on base consistently enough. Ian Haas working through his issues, so they don't have that true leadoff guy, which sounds odd with all the versatility they have within this lineup. I don't like the Rizzo thing. It's not aesthetically pleasing to start, but beyond that, I just don't like the idea of having a 3-hitter like him hit leadoff. If Short was somebody that makes sense, and you have Rizzo and Brian and Rizzo to follow in that order, it's just kind of an odd look for this lineup, and I question its effectiveness.
What do you make of, Addison Russell, obviously, his allegations against him, but he hasn't performed especially as a hitter. 215 average, 295 on base. He did homer in back-to-back games. Sunday and Monday. But what do you think's going on with him?
Yeah, from purely a baseball perspective, he's just not the same guy at the plate as he normally is, and he's not really been the same guy in the field as he normally has been. You're seeing it's clear that he's going through some stuff, and obviously the allegations are a separate issue, but he's had a lot going on to focus on away from baseball lately, and obviously it's been something that's been lingering for a while. I think it's natural to question what's going on in his head, and of course only Addison Russell knows that. We know the kind of player he's capable of being. I mean, he's got an electric bat, and he can, that power tool is still developing. The thing, shortstop in baseball, but it's clear that the focus hasn't quite been there. I was a little surprised, to be honest, that they brought him back so soon, because when they announced in light of everything last Thursday that they were going to tell him to stay away from the ballpark, I thought that was going to be more team forced. But they told Addison Russell that he's welcome to come back after that Thursday, and he came back that Friday. So it was a little odd, the circumstances. Obviously, like I said, the allegations and everything away from the field is a separate issue. But even just from a baseball perspective, you just wonder how effective he's going to be in that lineup. And you've seen the struggles every day.
Jeremy brought this up a few years ago, and I loved it. It's hashtag Cardinals problems when the Cardinals were doing so well. And you've got that with this kind of next question, but you see a guy like Ian Happ. Yeah, the batting average isn't where you want it, but you can see what kind of effect he's had and what damage he can do. The grand slam the other night for the Cubs. And you look at Russell and Baez and Happ, and you figure Happ wants to, as a second baseman, not necessarily an outfielder. How do you see that working out? Because Ian Happ is a kid that I think has earned his way onto this roster the rest of the year.
These are certainly the good problems to have, and
sure.
I'll add on to that the fact that you're dividing playing time between the first rounder from 2015 and Ian Happ, and the first rounder from 2012 and Albert Almora.
Wow.
Both of whom are picked by Theo Epstein in their early 20s. So these are guys. This is the way that they projected things out, and it's a great problem to have, especially when you factor in Kyle Schwarber, the former first round pick in left field. Jason Hayward, not drafted by the Cubs, but he's a former first-round pick. You have the former first-round pick of Jim Henry and Javi Baez, who needs to be separated with playing time against Ian Happ at second base and in the infield. Addison Russell, the former first-round pick, is taking up playing time at shortstop as well, where Javi Baez could be playing, which would then make room for Ian Happ. Of course, the former first-round pick at third base. You see where I'm going with this?
Yes.
So much young talent within the lineup. And within this roster versatility that Joe Madden has, all these young players in the early to mid-20s, and I talked about it before, these guys are still going through the early struggles that are just natural. That's a part of the game. So when you look at the Cubs overall, you look at the lineup and some of the issues that you've seen with the batting averages and the on-base percentages and the power numbers, that's going to come out. I mean, that's going to be okay because these are just young issues for players. But that pitching staff is a whole different issue where you have guys in the push from 30 who just completely lost the effectiveness. So, Joe Madden's juggling through those Cubs problems with the lineup, trying to find the most effective way that he can put together a 1 through 9. But when you get to that 9, that's where their biggest issue is.
Chris, before I let you go, I know you watched Bears minicamp, and it sounds like Adam Shaheen is a Pro Bowler. It sounds like Mitch Trubisky is a future Hall of Famer. Nice. I mean, everything's good, right?
It's been interesting. Trubisky, everybody's watching every throw, and Shaheen is looked the part. I guess that's my biggest takeaway from today. And of course, you know how it goes with the regime up there. It's you can't let out too much information, but I guess my greatest takeaway from today is Adam Shaheen looks the part. Jarrell Freeman, of course, was put on the spot today, saying, "Who does he remind you of?" And he got to stop and laugh and said, "I know what you're going for here." It's the guy who wears number 87 most famously in the NFL, and the Bears would love to see Adam Shaheen become that Rob Gronkowski type. One day at a time for a guy who's just playing Division II football a few months ago, but the Bears might have done something here that could lead to great success for them down the road with this offense. If Shaheen becomes what they hope, Trubisky becomes what they hope, they have quite a connection for years to come.
Chris Emma, follow him on Twitter at CEmma670. He'll fill you in on those Bears and those Cubbies. 670thescore.com is where you read his stuff. Chris Emma, you're a friend of the program. We always appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Happy Flag Day, boys.
You too. You too, buddy. That's interesting.
You got to be careful.
Yeah, you do on that one. I hadn't thought of it until he started to say it. You know, the one kid that there's two guys that have really done, I think, better than I expected for the Cubs. One is Carl Edwards Jr.
He's phenomenal.
I mean, he's been crazy.
Closer.
There's no doubt about it. His ERA, I just looked this up, and I didn't have to look this up to know that he's been unbelievable. But 27 games, he's got 7 holds, and he's got an ERA of 1.07. I mean, the kid has some outstanding stuff. And then Koji Uehara is a guy that, you know, was dominant with the dominant with the Red Sox, but really good.
Moves
they've been great.
They've hit on all of them.
They have. They have.
Right? What they need is they need to go acquire pitching, and I think they knew they were going to have to do that. Maybe they have to acquire one more than they thought they were going to have to.
At this point now.
I don't know if I'd give up Eloy Jimenez for Sonny Gray, by the way. I disagree with Chris for that.
Okay.
I would give up Eloy for Archer. I'd give up Eloy for Quintana.
Okay.
Because I agree with him. I mean, Eloy's probably a year or two away. Plus, if you think Schwarber's that great, you think Happ's that great, you got Hayward signed, where are you putting him?
Well, right, exactly.
I mean, at some point, you're in win mode.
Yes.
You use those guys as resources, and if you get out of Quintana, that helps your major league team so much. And yeah, maybe in 5 or 6 years, you're watching Gleyber Torres and you're watching Eloy Jimenez, kill it. But you also have pennants. You also probably have a World Series ring or two, and that's what you play for. So, I mean, it's been the worst case scenario with their pitching. It's been the worst case scenario probably with a lot of their hitting.
Right.
And they're 500 and 2 games, or a game or two back for the Brewers, and they're in a terrible division.
They're in a great division to win. That's exactly right. And you look at Chris Bryant's numbers, they're still solid as ever.
I mean, 403 on base percentage, 15 homers. Rizzo, 394 on base, 14 homers. Those two guys are as good as they get as a duo. You need Schwarber, you need Russell, and you need those young kids. I wish Contreras played a little more because he's got a dynamic bat.
You said the key word, young. I mean, they're still young, right? It's the second year. People are adjusting to them.
That. I mean, Schwarber, this is more at-bats than he's ever had.
Right. In
a major league season.
And he missed so much of the season. So I think it's just one of those where you got to be patient, and these kids they could start exploding at any moment, and you've got a long summer ahead at Wrigley Field, and it's probably going to be still good times for the Cubbies.
The White Sox, 28-35, but it's all part of the plan.
Yeah, right? It's all working.
Seem to have a very good draft. We'll ask about that with Dan Hayes, CSN Chicago. But we'll also ask him what pieces get dealt.
Okay.
That's kind of what we're watching for the next month and a half here, right? I mean, we got about 45 days before the trade deadline, and the White Sox will be very active on it.
If you want to weigh in, 359-2255, the Cheap Hour text line, the best way to do that right now at 359-2255. And coming up, as Jeremy mentioned, on the Jupiters at the Crossing phone line, Dan Hayes to talk White Sox. It is the Tay and J Show.
An ESPN Radio Mike and Mike Extra Point.
I was reading a story that Jerry West was out jogging one time, and a fan said something nasty to him about losing in the finals all the time, and Jerry West punched him. and the next line in the story was, it's an awful good thing Jerry West didn't play in the time of Twitter. And that's what we're dealing with right now. Kevin Durant, and I'm going to play a soundbite in a minute here, addressing his haters. They didn't have haters. I mean, there were haters back in the 70s and the 80s, but they weren't called that, and they weren't vocal, and they had no place to say what they wanted to say. They could boo in the arena, but the players are insulated from that, and they don't really care. Now there's a whole different world. That's what's going to be interesting about the 30 for 30, is the biggest difference between Michael Jordan and LeBron James, if you will, is that no criticism of Michael Jordan could be organized and available on a daily basis the way the criticism of LeBron James currently is.
Hear more from Mike and Mike tomorrow morning on ESPN Radio.
The key to success? Keep it simple, especially when it comes to hiring. And nobody makes it easier than Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions. Manage your candidates from one dashboard. According to an independent study, 5 times more hires are made through Indeed than any other job site. New users claim your $50 credit to post a sponsored job at Indeed.com/credit. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Terms, conditions, and quality standards apply.
Gentlemen, hurry into JCPenney's biggest sale of the season. Raise your game with great savings on menswear designed by Michael Strahan exclusively at JCPenney. Get 50% off suit separates and dress shirts from Collection by Michael Strahan. And up to 40% off MSX activewear, including big and tall. Save more with a coupon for $10 off when you spend $25 or more on select items. Hurry, and Sunday. That's getting your pennies worth. JCPenney. Coupon valid 6/14 to 6/18. Some exclusions and restrictions apply. See store at jcp.com for details. Season refers to 6/14 to 6/18.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash Beach in Savoy.
Life is full of twists and turns. You can't see the unknown, but you can certainly prepare for it. Pekin Life Insurance Company offers a variety of term and whole life insurance policies that are designed to meet the needs of individuals and their families. Options include transitional life, universal life, preferred whole life, family term life, and many others. Visit PekinInsurance.com or ask your local Pekin Insurance agent about an affordable, beyond the expected life insurance policy that's right for you.
Got a question? Talk to our experts at StevieJay.com. Experts are ready to answer your questions for free. Looking for cool trends in clothing or gear as you support area teams? Game Day Spirit is the official fan store of the Fighting Illini. Landscaping tips are also available from Country Arbor's Nursery. New tile or soft surfaces in your home or business? Flooring surfaces where the world is at your feet. Experts are available now online at StevieJay.com.
American Cancer Society's Relay for Life is coming to downtown Champaign on Saturday, June 17th.
Survivors plan on joining in on the opening ceremony with Carl, Ameren, and Walgreens to support the event. There's fun activities for the kids, including Joyful Bubbles, Kahuna Ice, and the Sydney Dairy Barn's Moo-Mobile.
June 17th in downtown Champaign's West Side Park. Details on Facebook or head to relayforlife.org/Champaign.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday mornings 7 to 9 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Hello, I'm Austin Berkman with the 430 Sports Center update brought to you by State Farm agent John Kaywood. With the service you get from State Farm, you might think their car insurance costs more. But with discounts up to 40%, you may find it costs less. Call State Farm agent John Kaywood in Champaign, Illinois at 217-367-1105 today. Jeff Goodman of ESPN is reporting that Illinois State grad transfer Mikhail McIntosh told ESPN that he will play at Oregon. Illini are not in the top 7 for Houston Griffith, son of Illini great Howard Griffith. Here are Houston's top 7.
Blasphemy.
Yes. I agree.
It's so disrespectful, number one.
He owes Illini a lot.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. He's just a high school kid in Florida. He owes them so much. The Illini named their finalists for Male Dyke Edelman Award, which is presented to the Male Athlete of the Year. Here are the finalists. Alex Dabe, Malcolm Hill, David Kenziera, Dylan LaFond, Isaiah Martinez, Pat McKierney, Dylan Meyer, and Alex Vukic. Hap Grand Slam, Hayward 2-run bomb, Bryant 2-run blast, Baez 2-run homer, and Rizzo with a solo shot. The tripper on the bases was a common theme for the Cubs last night in their 14-3 win over the Mets in Gotham. Every single player in the starting lineup picked up a hit as well in the contest. Lester wasn't too shabby at all either. He gave up 5 hits and 1 earned run in 7 innings pitched. 2 teams lock up again tonight at 6:10 from New York City. Listen on US 105.9. Things weren't rosy for the Cardinals last night at home in their second game of a doubleheader against the Brewers. They fell 8-5. The two teams were tied going into the 8th, but then Trevor Rosenthal gave up 3 runs on 2 hits.
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
That was well done.
The Cardinals are taking on the Brew Crew tonight at 7:15. Listen on ESPN CU. And McGregor Mayweather August 26th in Vegas. It's official.
Yeah, baby. Thank you, Austin.
Hey, you'll want to schedule this as well. Chicago Cubs rooftop day trip's coming up. The station is going our first ever trip to Wrigley Field rooftop for Cubs baseball.
That sounds so fun.
You'll enjoy a private Illinois charter motor coach to the Wrigleyville area, then arrive at Wrigley Field rooftop where food and fun awaits. You can enjoy a view of the game with the Tampa Bay Rays and enjoy all you care to eat and drink.
And that includes some great food. How about some Allen Brothers sirloin steaks, freshly grilled chicken breast sandwiches? Wait a minute, here it is. Chicago-style hot dog.
Italian beef.
Oh, man. Grilled brat.
Brat.
They also have a lot of beer you'd love.
And you'd love. They got Bud Light, Miller Lite. Coors Light. They got Goose Island 312, Angry Orchard, Bell's Oberon. All you can eat and drink. It's a great experience. You can buy tickets, get more information. Just go to ESPNCU.com.
All right, it's the Tay and J Show. Lon Tay, Jeremy Warner. It's our Flag Day tradition that Mike Claiborne helped establish many years ago. And he said basically on Flag Day, that's when you get an idea as to how good your baseball team is.
So Conor McGregor is just going to get a bunch of money.
Absolutely.
To dance around a ring with
That's
Floyd
all he wants
Mayweather.
to do. Let me ask you this, because I know that's the what's the word we're using a lot lately, the rhetoric.
Yeah.
And I agree with the fact that, yes, he's going to make a lot of money, and yes, it's not going to be that exciting. But Conor McGregor's kind of cocky.
Well, he's just going to go try for a knockout, right?
Yeah, I could see him getting in there and just trying to make things happen early.
But Floyd can knock him out. That's not his game. That's not how
what I love. That's what I want to see, right? I want to see McGregor go crazy in the first 2 rounds, and then just Floyd just says, listen, I'm just going to knock you out now.
I know, but that's not Floyd's thing. He'll just dance, and Conor McGregor can't catch him. Pacquiao couldn't catch him.
No, I know it. I know.
You know what I mean? So I get the spectacle of it, but it's just because McGregor's a loudmouth?
Yes.
He's not a boxer, though.
I can't wait to just see and again, I told you yesterday I wouldn't pay for this, but I can't wait to see just the lead up to the bout. That alone will be better than the actual bout.
That's what I mean. The actual bout is pointless.
Well, except there'll be a lot of people to watch it. That's
I know
the crazy
that,
part.
And I don't understand it.
I know. That's the crazy part, but people want to see it.
There's like a 1/100th of a chance
of a knockout
of people watching what they want to watch,
right?
Which is McGregor knocking Mayweather out for his first loss ever.
It'll be interesting to see, but Floyd will just dance around him. Yes, it will.
It's not going to be interesting.
I think it'll be interesting. We're gonna. What day is that?
I don't. August 26th.
We're going to talk about it on the 27th or 8th or whatever that day.
All right, let's not keep him waiting anymore. Let's check in with the White Sox. Our last Flag Day special.
Yes.
Stop, and that's Dan Hayes, CSN Chicago. Dan, how you doing?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
You celebrating that Warriors championship?
Ooh, that's right.
Yeah, a little bit. It was nice. I got to go to Game 4, even though that was the worst game they played. I still got to go, and it was enjoyable. So,
Dan, how does it feel? Because most people, when you're at that part of it, when you're the Yankees of a sport.
Yes.
I mean, you don't feel bad about winning a championship like that, do you?
You know what? It's funny. None of my teams have really been this. So, yeah, it's great. It's really weird, and it's really great. So, sorry to everyone could be bored by them winning a few more titles, but I'm going to take it.
Well, and Dan, like everybody on Twitter is telling me, it's just cheap because Kevin Durant, you got Kevin Durant. I mean, it's just a cheap title. That's all I'm hearing.
You know what? They drafted Draymond Green 35th, and they drafted Klay Thompson 11th, and Steph Curry, 7th. I mean, if they had lucked into this, it would be one thing, but they earned their way there, and that's how the Yankees did it in the 90s with drafting Jeter and Bernie Williams and Jorge Posada. And, hey, if you can draft cheap, affordable players and the Cubs might get there.
Right.
I mean, more power to you. When teams can do that and then spend their money on these unbelievable players, hey, that's great for them.
Good call, Dan.
Dan Hayes, CSNChicago.com. The White Sox 28-35, about where we'd probably expected them, maybe a little bit better, but what have you taken from this season? What is the biggest thing during the actual baseball play? Because we're all focused on who's going to get traded. We'll, of course, ask you about that, which is the questions you get all the time. But what have you actually taken from the baseball play? What matters long term?
I think the biggest thing is just the emergence of Eliseo Garcia. And I've been a skeptic. I'm still skeptical. I want to see it the whole way. But you right now look like you have a monster power bat in the middle of your lineup just by being in this position and letting the kids kind of play. And a guy you probably would have given up on if you had pushed forward again for another year, and he figured it out. And, I mean, he is just beyond impressive right now. I mean, this is beyond anything I think any of us ever suspected he could do. I always saw maybe as a 20-homer, 80, 90 RBI guy, something like that. And, I mean, his balls in play average is ridiculous right now. I know it's above 400. That's bound to fall off by 40 or 50 points. And so maybe his average drops down somewhere to around 280. But if you tell me that he's an 850 OPS player with 30 homer power and that they have this guy now, man, I mean, you're going to take that 100 times out of 100, even if his defense is still always an adventure out there. it's a great development for them to have. And I think that's what this season has given them room to do is let these kids play and see. And you've seen some really good development from Yolmer Sanchez and Leury Garcia, who learned how to not strike out 33% of the time and is now getting on base and hitting home runs and stuff that people thought he potentially could do, but never really got the shot before because, hey, when you're trying to win every week, you're trying to close out 4 out of 5 games. If a guy's slumping, you're going to pull him. And now it's like, hey, let him play. And yeah, we might lose, but if he can develop, he could be a key part going forward or somebody we could trade.
Yeah, same thing with Matt Davidson, right? I mean, what's changed with him? He's gotten a lot of opportunity. He's healthy. Can he be, a long-term piece, towards the, I guess, middle to end of that lineup?
Yeah, you know what? He's still striking out a whole lot. I think it's 38% right now, and I don't know that's ever going to change. So I think every team has room for that guy somewhere, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the opportunity here for a while because he's so young as far as pro or major league experience. I mean, he still qualifies as a rookie right now, and so you're not going to be trading that guy, I don't think, just because I think you can find home run power out there that doesn't bring a ton else. I mean, his slug is awesome, but his on base is going to shrink, and his average is never going to be great. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you get a guy like that hits 30 home runs a year, there's a spot for that in your lineup, and I think he's really just he found that confidence level last year at AAA, and that's what got him to the majors in June. And he had that freak injury that knocked out the rest of his season, running from first to third after his first base hit in the majors in 4 years, and he breaks his foot and it has to sit out the rest of the way. But the confidence has stayed with him, and it's impressive because he has these spells where he just looks totally lost. And I think he had a couple days ago a 13 at bat hitless stretch, and really looked out of sorts. Probably struck out 5 or 6 times in that stretch, and then he's come back and hit homered 2 days in a row. I think he has hits 3 days in a row, and he's starting to look good again. And when he's confident and he makes contact, that ball goes a long way. And so those kind of developments have been great for them. Tommy Kahnle getting opportunity because of injury and just striking out everybody and not walking people. There's been some good things, and I think that's probably why White Sox fans aren't, crushed by the fact that they're in this rebuilding year. It's hard to say this, but they're 28-35. I actually think that they will be better the rest of the way, just because now they're at home for a little while. I mean, they go back out on the road here to Toronto and Minnesota this weekend, but they come back and I think they have 54 home games the rest of the way. Coming back there today from the last trip, they have 58 home games versus 43 road games left. I mean, they've been on the road the entire time, and when they've been home, it's been really bad weather. So they haven't had a chance to enjoy their ballpark. The last 2 days have been nice weather, and you've seen the offense kind of take advantage of a smaller ballpark.
Don't mess with the system, Dan Hayes, by getting a lot of wins. Come on now. You can follow Dan on Twitter. It's at CSN Hayes. Well, listen, he's no Derek Holland, but Jose Quintana, he's 6-2. His ERA is above 5 this year. What has been the difference for a guy, obviously, that the White Sox still would love to parade out there for a bunch of big prospects, or who knows if he could be the cornerstone one day? What's kind of been his issue this year with regards to pitching?
He's just been off, and honestly, I think there's some parallels to what Jose Abreu went through last year, which was just sort of the stuff that's not in between the lines affects you a little bit. And, you heard Rick Renneria talk about that in regard to Jose Abreu a few weeks ago. What's the difference? Well, he's a human, and stuff catches up with you. And last year, Abreu had all this stuff going on with the upcoming trial of his friend, and he was going to have to testify and was getting immunity to testify, and missing his son, and all those things probably just added up to a horrible year for him. And finally his son came in August, and he had something to be upbeat about off the field again, and he took off. I mean, when we talk about the trial, that's a guy that was in his wedding party and helped him get to the United States, and basically shuttled his parents around when they got to the United States from Cuba, a very trusted friend who he was going to have to testify against. And there was a lot of weight on his shoulder. Well, this isn't the same thing as that, but Jose Quintana loves the White Sox. This is where he grew up. I mean, this is the team that made him into a complete pitcher. They gave him another chance. They took him from the Yankees after the Yankees basically weren't giving him that opportunity, and they made him into what he is, and he loves Don Cooper. And I think to see his name out there in trade talks, I think he'd love to spend the rest of his career here. And I think it's probably been a little difficult because he'd love to stay, and then you hear the team wants to deal you, and it's nothing personal. I mean, there is the business side, but I still think that human side gets involved no matter how much you want to say it doesn't. This is a guy that has been so great at kind of tuning out all that stuff in the past with the lack of run support. Hey, I'm just going to get better. It's on me. I need to give up no runs next time. He just keeps looking forward, and I don't know that he's had as easy of a time doing that this season, and it's kind of resulted in some command issues. We've seen him miss over the middle far more than he ever does. He's such a guy that lives on the edges with pinpoint command, and that fastball's run a little bit more this year. The curveball hasn't had exactly the same kind of bite, and it's resulted in a very strange season for him.
Dan Hayes, CSN Chicago. You can follow him on Twitter at CSN Hayes. I'm sure you get this all the time, Dan, but we got a big 50 days, I guess, ahead as the White Sox hit the trade market here and teams start to figure out where they are. And we'll see who's going to be actual sellers here. It seems like a lot of teams in the National League would be, but a lot of teams in the AL are still in contention here. I'm still shocked the Nationals haven't acquired David Robertson, but I guess they're in a position of power with how big of a lead they have. But realistically, what pieces do you think actually get dealt?
I think he does for sure. I don't know where, but I'm guessing it's the Nationals. I mean, it's such a need that you're right. It's crazy. Every time they blow a save, it only cuts into their lead, so it's down to like 11 games basically. But they're so comfortable right now, and I'm sure that both sides are looking at money. Nationals have an absurdly high payroll. The White Sox have never been a team to pay salary down. I think they've only given up a couple million here or there in trades. So they're going to want that team to take on the salary, and why wouldn't you? I mean, David Robertson's been very good this year. You look at that strikeout to walk ratio and even the strikeouts per nine, and it's absurd. He's very good, and he's had 2 bad games, I think, this season. So he's a bargain at the $18 or $20 million that's left on his contract for the year and a half that you get him. With beyond him, I think Derek Holland has shown he's healthy again, and somebody's going to want him for deep in their rotation, 3rd or 4th starter. Miguel Gonzalez needs to get back on track. This has been weird. He was really good from July 1st of last year up until that Baltimore start, and he's been a little hit and miss since about a month ago. And it's weird to see because he's been so consistent, but you would have thought maybe somebody would have taken him as a cheap 4th starter. Todd Frazier's finally hitting, and that's a good thing for the White Sox, but that first 2 months probably gives teams some concern. I mean, he was beat up pretty good, whether it was the flu or his oblique or sore back. I mean, he's dealt with so many different issues, and finally he's gotten going. Beyond that, I think Canely becomes interesting because Jose Quintana, I just don't know that you're going to get what you want for Jose Quintana. Right. I think teams are going to continue to try and buy him for cheaper than what the White Sox perceive him to be, and I just don't see them selling him at his lower value. So Tommy Canely to me makes sense. He's a hot hand, and he's got plenty of team control to go, and he's been absurd out of the bullpen this year. And, we've seen teams overpay for relief help at this time of year. It wouldn't be surprising to me if Canely and Robertson were dealt just to kind of make up for the fact that they might not get something for Quintana right now.
Last one for you, Dan Hayes, and I know you're basically on a minor league watch beat while this is all going on with the major league team. What do you think of the development of their minor leagues, especially after this draft where at least Jim Callis from MLB seems to think it's one of the better drafts so far? How much has this minor league development happened, and what do you think of some of the prospects and their performance this year?
I mean, you look around and there's good signs in a lot of places. I mean, there's some tough ones too. I look at Zach Collins, and I actually like what I've seen, especially on the defensive side. He's thrown out 41% of his base stealers. Last year, he threw out 3 of 21 guys. And, you see the average down for him, but he's still got a ton of power. I think he's hit 11 home runs. He's still drawing a ton of walks. The strikeout rate's a little concerning. But I think when you see that defensive side in there, then not expecting that, you really think, hey, that's probably a good thing for the White Sox. Yoan Moncada has been a little rusty lately, but I still think that, you've seen everything you needed to from him. In fact, the same thing for Michael Kopech. I mean, the White Sox probably couldn't have asked for a better April and May from Moncada and Kopech than they got, and it's been very good for them. Giolito has come on strong of late. Ronaldo Lopez has been steady all along, and Dane Dunning had a good start. You look at all the guys they acquired; they've done fairly well this year, and you throw in the guys they drafted last year, and Alec Hansen's having a good season. Zach Birdie has shown the same stuff. He's had some struggles here and there, but I think the one thing that's key to it all is the White Sox are giving them the time to develop. This isn't the same team as a couple of years ago where they're rushing prospects, and that's the key. Moncada would have been up a few weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago, if this was the old White Sox trying to fill needs in Chicago and sacrificing development. And instead, they're letting him try to get that strikeout rate down and giving guys time to develop. And that's going to be key for them going forward. You can't take these kids and waste your chance at them by rushing them to the majors. And I think they got the idea that they've got some breathing room the next year or two to do that, allow them to develop and get to the majors when they're ready.
They have a plan.
Yep.
Which is what everybody that follows the White Sox wants. Dan Hayes, CSN Chicago. Follow him on Twitter at CSN Hayes. As always, great stuff. Dan, thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, buddy. That's great stuff. I sat there and I listened to him reel off these names.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, the Cubs they're not going anywhere. And the White Sox, it's going to be a while. Don't get me wrong. But in 5-6 years.
Well, I don't think it's going to be that long.
Well, maybe not that long.
Because it wasn't like they had to suck to draft
That's a good
guys
call.
3 years away.
That's a good call.
They traded for guys in single A, double A, triple A. A lot of them in double A,
Great point.
triple A. So, I mean, these guys are going to be coming up the end of this year. Moncada will be up. Lopez will be up. Giolito, they're going to be more patient with because he's got a lot of mechanical things to work on. Fulmer will be up.
Yes.
Birdie will be up. Next year, probably Collins at some point if he continues to progress. Maybe you get, a couple other guys who decide to come up, and maybe you trade for some prospects who are on their way. But 2019 is a year where they're going to have all their guys. Now, is that going to be the year they contend?
Right.
Maybe not, but it might be the year that they start to compete.
Mm-hmm.
So I think their competition is going to be a little quicker than what the Cubs were. I mean, that was a 4-5. It was fifth year, really.
Right,
If
exactly.
Theo Epstein was here where they were competing.
And maybe I went a little too far, but in terms of having both Chicago teams playing at a pretty solid level, that would be fun.
Maybe the Cubs will stink by then.
Maybe by then they will stink. That would be
Chris
great.
Bryant, Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah, they'll still have all that. The interesting thing too there about Quintana is what he talked about is sometimes we think these guys are machines. We think professional athletes, even college athletes, we think are just machines and they have nothing else going on. Malcolm Hill has no other classes. He doesn't have a final tonight like you.
Doesn't have a personal life.
Nope, he doesn't have a personal life. He doesn't have to worry about that. He just needs to go out and score 30 points, and if he doesn't, then boo-ha, right? But it is true with Quintana thinking about being traded with what Dan Hayes said he likes to be in Chicago. And, Jeremy, sometimes it's not easy to be the number one guy all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. When you had Chris Sale basically living in his shadow for a couple of years, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, guess what? You're the guy now. Here's the ball on opening day. Go win.
Yeah.
So those two things together, I mean, listen, he's not blowing up in terms of good or bad, but he's having a productive season.
He's had 4 bad starts out of what has he had? Like 14 starts.
He's been what he's never been in the past,
right.
A little inconsistent.
Yeah, that's the issue, is inconsistency. Otherwise, he's had a lot of quality starts. He's given the White Sox a chance in most of his games, but those blow-ups usually haven't happened.
No, exactly. We're going to have to go up and check out some White Sox baseball in the next couple
His
of years.
control has been an issue.
Has it? Okay.
Which it really has never been an issue in
And
the
like
past.
he said, he likes to live on the inside and outside.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. All right, that is our run around baseball on Flag Day. Kevin Wheeler started us off, Chris Emma talking Cubs, and Dan Hayes talking White Sox. We hope you enjoyed that, getting everybody prepared and ready for baseball season the rest of the year.
Tom Fernelli had a great tweet. Big news, everyone. Those 2 guys have agreed to let you pay them a bunch of money.
You're still on this.
Yeah.
You're still on this.
We got Mayweather and, McGregor.
McGregor.
It's
Connor.
going to happen. Jeremy Schaap. Jeremy Schaap. This is a journalist.
Okay.
If you thought Mayweather-Pacquiao was a waste of time, boy, do I have a fight for you. I don't get it.
Austin and I are going to Hooters.
I don't get it,
That's
guys.
all I know.
I don't know why people are so excited.
Come on!
To see an MMA fighter get into the boxing ring with one of the best technical boxers we've ever seen.
Because I think what McGregor's going to do is he's going to go all MMA. And then
you can't.
Well, I know, but he's going to. And then the official's going to be like, I don't know what to do. He's got him in like this hold. I don't know what to do.
You know what McGregor's doing? MMA wasn't paying him enough.
He's going to break his elbow.
So he taunted Mayweather.
Yeah.
And all of us, I'm not putting me in here, all of you decided, I want to see that. And
I like how fired up
now
about
he's
this
going to
you are.
make $50 to $100 million on a fight that he knows he's going to lose.
The American
and you
way.
guys are all suckers for it.
I want to see him break his bursa sack or whatever. Whatever that is.
That's disgusting.
Why not? I mean, Hoist Gracie used
Isn't
to
a
do it.
bursa sack in the
I don't
knee?
know. It might be. I don't know what your elbow problem is, but I want to see him just grab one of Floyd
You want to see his
Mayweather's.
labrum tear?
Yeah, just rip.
Live.
Come on, you're too fired up about this. Just have fun with it. Go to Hooters with us and drink a beer.
I mean, I'm not paying for it.
Okay.
You guys want to pay for my wings?
Well, you can pay for dinner. I'll pay for your entry. How about that? All right, we're back. We've got Malcolm Hill coming up at 5 o'clock.
Stupid.
It is. It really is. But, man, I can't wait. It's the Tay and J Show.
Matthew 28:18-20 states, Then Jesus came to them and said, All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore, go and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and teach them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age. Jesus charges us to spread his message to all ends of the earth. How are you spreading his message? Support local and international ministries and get involved. This message brought to you by the Blossom Basket Floors.
You check things all the time, like your email every 10 seconds, or your ex's Instagram. But what about checking something as important as your credit? Well, Discover makes it quick, easy, and best of all, free. Discover is now offering FICO credit scores to everyone for free, even if you're not a customer. And checking your score won't hurt your credit. We call it the Discover Credit Scorecard. And once you know your score, you should check to see if your current credit card is the best fit for you. Check your credit, compare your card. Go to discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
Check out the new BMW Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands from Lands Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. For a limited time, Lands is offering special financing for 6 years or up to $1,000 trade-in allowance. Your choice, with approved credit on any qualifying trade system. So call Lands at 1-800-AIR-REPAIR for details, or find us online at landsinc.com. And remember, it's hard to stop a train. I'm Troy Lands, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
See Lands or visit train.com for complete program eligibility dates, details, and restrictions.
From buyers and sellers inspections before the sale, protect your future with AA Marshall Home Inspection Services. We also provide radon testing with results back in 48 hours. From Champaign to Savoy and Gifford to Gibson City, protect your future with AA Marshall Home Inspection Services. Get more details and schedule your inspection today at aamarshall.net.
Protecting your home and family. You better have a plan. Keep them safe from harm with a home alarm from F.E. Moran. Home invasions are on the rise all across the land, but they'll think twice when they see the sign for F.E. Moran. Don't wait till it's too late. It's time to make a stand. Call 877-F.E. Moran. F.E. Moran. Alarm.
Coach Mike Ditka is not just talking sports. What will he say next? Hear him here Monday and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 8 with Brother Johnny and me, Stevie J, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
So we have like 6 interns today.
Yes.
I haven't named them yet. Austin Barkle and Harry Black, you know them. Nathan DeHaan, Trevor Valise, David Morrow, and Maddie Button, who's been pretty quiet. And I get it, because there's a bunch of dudes who are obnoxious around. She's never taken a Papa shot in here.
No.
Harry bounced past her the ball.
And she needed to be persuaded.
Yes. She had to be persuaded to shoot it, and she put us all to shame.
Bam.
She is lined up, perfect form. She had perfect rotation.
The arc was perfect.
The arc was phenomenal.
I thought it was going to hit the ceiling.
Yeah.
But it was just enough arc not to touch the ceiling.
And it was one of those that just didn't touch anything.
Nope.
Didn't touch the rim at all.
Nope.
But it hit the net and hit the back part of the rim that attaches, so it was a perfect shot.
It was unbelievable.
Oh.
She's now 1,000. She leads now forever, and if she never shoots again, nobody could ever beat her. That's unbelievable. Well done, Maddie.
Yeah.
What a way to dominate that.
That was pretty fantastic.
All right, so we were talking about, we were breaking down the McGregor.
It's the dumbest thing. Why is this a thing?
I like kind of getting you going again on it. Wait, but
can John Alver do the "Why is this still a thing" this week on Mayweather?
Are we going to have the one dude
McGregor?
do the ladies and gentlemen?
Oh yeah, he's going to get paid $1 million.
Oh yeah, it'll be a spectacle.
Austin, look up how much does Michael Buffer make every time he says
dude,
it.
Man, he's got a brother, right, that does it.
Yeah,
he's got a brother that
Greg.
does it. Not quite as good. Greg.
He's a Greg.
Oh, sorry, we couldn't afford Michael, so we got you, Greg. Yeah, listen, the only shot McGregor has is to come out in the first round and just absolutely go ballistic.
But he's going to get knocked out.
Then Nathan and I had a great idea. He's going to just he's going to get the official in a headlock, and he's going to be kicking Mayweather. He's going to be doing everything illegal, and we're going to be sitting there going, "Yes, this has turned into MMA."
But it's going to end the.
I know. Then they'll ring the bell.
He'll do that for 2 seconds. Then
listen, boxing needs help, right?
But this
isn't it. I'm sorry.
I bet boxing people hate this.
Oh, I'm sure they do. But boxing, I guess I shouldn't say
is this match?
It's a farce.
No, but is there a kid, a 6-year-old kid or an 8-year-old kid or a 10-year-old kid who's watching this match gonna all of a sudden stay in boxing?
No, not at all.
No, I thought Pacquiao Mayweather had that, and then Pacquiao was bad, old, and hurt. And it was a bad match. It was an unentertaining match. But Floyd Mayweather is really unentertaining as a boxer because he's so quick.
Right.
He's a tactician. He doesn't get hit. He's doing it for points. He's not doing it for knockouts.
And he does have 26 knockouts.
But he has 26 knockouts, and he's going to knock out McGregor.
But the other night, the 30-30 was on. 30 for 30 was on with Mike Tyson of Evander Holyfield. And I sat there and I watched that. And I'm like, man, I remember when boxing was cool.
Yeah, well, that's heavyweight.
Yeah, right.
But heavyweight's a lot different.
But even Sugar Ray Leonard at that, I mean, I know Floyd Mayweather's unbelievable, and Pacquiao has been really good.
According to Tyler Knight, our former intern, it's Bruce Buffer, not Greg.
Bruce.
Not Greg. I tried. I just went out for a guess.
He actually knew. All right, $5 million per fight.
Michael Buffer gets $5 million?
And he's earned, what's the $400 million mean?
So
he's earned $400 million?
So he just has to, he's made $400 million.
Holy cow!
We just need to make up a catchphrase.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can do that.
Juan, why haven't you done
I
this?
don't know. I mean, they could pay me $200 million total.
You're cheap. I mean, think about that. He gets paid
$5 million.
He does the undercard, right?
Yeah, right.
He'll just announce the boxers or whatever. He gets paid more than those boxers for those fights.
Yes.
And maybe for some of his fights, he gets paid more than the headliners.
$5 million. $5 million.
I mean, he makes more money than McGregor makes at MMA fights.
Is that what it is, really?
That's why McGregor's doing this, guys.
Absolutely, and you can't blame McGregor.
Yeah, I mean, he talked enough.
Yep. Well, yeah,
to get Mayweather roped in, and then he talked enough to get everyone interested in a quote-unquote spectacle that's going to be boring.
It will be, but it's all about entertainment, right? He's done his part to get to that part.
But it's not going to be entertaining. The build-up, I guess, will be. Enjoy that, folks, because it's going to be a huge disappointment.
In that first round when he's eye-gouging people.
It's not going to happen.
Breaking bursa sacks. All right, Malcolm Hill, former Illini, he's coming in studio next. We'll ask him about a bursa sack. No, we won't. It's a Tay and J Show.
The Urbana Park District presents Neighborhood Nights. This Wednesday, June 14th, join us in Southridge Park and hear Big Creek Guitar Band. They have acoustic rock, blues, originals, and you'll love it. 6:30 to 8 p.m. Free popcorn and lemonade, fun activities. You can meet Urbana Park District officials. And we want to thank our sponsors, Stevie J Broadcasting, Shambana Moms, First Federal, the Urbana Parks Foundation, and CUMTD. For details, you can visit our website at urbanaparks.org.
The official fan store of the Fighting Illini is moving. Game Day Spirit, currently located at 1422 South Neal Street, is moving to the corner of Neal and Kirby in Champaign this July. In the meantime, they're preparing for the lowest prices of the season to be available during their moving sale in June. Stay tuned for more information and follow them on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram by searching Game Day Spirit. Stay in the know of all things Game Day and all things Fighting Illini with Game Day Spirit, the official fan store of the Fighting Illini.
Alto Vineyards has long been a leader in the Illinois wine industry, winning over 700 awards in national and international wine competitions in the last 20 years. Now, Alto Vineyards, along with SJ Broadcasting, present Music Among the Vines, East Central Illinois' premier summer concert series, held under the stars. Stop by Alto Vineyards each weekend throughout the summer and indulge in Illinois wines, premium beers, soft drinks, and light food items, all while experiencing the best music the area has to offer. For more details, visit altovineyards.net or call 356-4784.
Alto Vineyards Music Among the Vines is back this Saturday with the Kathy Harden Trio, Friday, June 16th at 7:30. It's the Kathy Harden Trio, Friday night at Alto Vineyards Music Among the Vines beginning at 7:30. More details at altovineyards.net.
Our Stevie J Broadcasting Law Enforcement Official of the Month is Mike Cervantes, a K-9 officer with his dog Hunter. Thank you for what you do. Why do you do it?
Oh, there's a lot of reasons. I think the main one is it's an honorable profession. You know, I work with a lot of good guys, kind guys, compassionate. For Police Week, Sergeant Rivers and I and his family, we went out and put flags on the graves of the officers that had passed away. Guys that are courageous. And, it's not a lot of professions that you can go into and you can say, yeah, these are my coworkers, these are the people that I work with, and we do it, you know, for each other. It's, like I said, not a lot of guys you be able to say, okay, yeah, when the stuff hits the fan, I can trust my life with these guys, and that's what we do. It makes me a better husband and father, and being able to help people you know, when they need it. People that maybe sometimes can't help themselves or they're not able to defend themselves the same way.
Brought to you by SK Exteriors, their website, callsktoday.com. You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Rosenthal has more live. Kathleen, Acting Police Chief Tony Chaplin says when they arrived on scene at the UPS building, they found victims and rushed them outside for medical treatment.
We have identified 6 shooting victims, including the suspect. The suspect is deceased, as are 3 of the shooting victims.
2 others were injured. Police said the suspect was wearing a UPS uniform, and UPS confirmed the shooter was an employee. A witness inside told a Bay Area media outlet that that the suspect had a problem with a manager. Police told people in the area to shelter in place when they had first responded, and they left that order in place for a few hours, only lifting it after they'd searched the entire building. Police weren't releasing a motive just yet, but said there were several witnesses there, and they plan to talk to all of them, Kathleen.
Thanks, Jessica. On the East Coast, House GOP Whip Steve Scalise remains in critical condition after surgery for wounds he suffered in this morning's shooting on a baseball field in Virginia near D.C. Others were also injured.
One of the heroic Capitol Police officers who was hurt, David Bailey, did not get shot. He is expected to be okay. And the other, Crystal Griner, was shot in the leg or foot, but is also expected to recover as well. Another gunshot victim, Zach Barth, works for Texas Congressman Roger Williams. That congressman said that Barth is doing well and is expected to recover too.
Fox's Peter Ducey and family members of former congressional aide Matt Micah say he suffered multiple gunshot wounds and remains in critical condition. The gunman was shot by police and died. He's 66-year-old James Hodgkinson of Illinois. Court records show he had several brushes with the law, including arrests for battery, resisting arrest, and drunk driving. On Wall Street, the Dow climbs 46 points to another record high. Fox News, fair and balanced.
If you run your own business, when you're not on the job, you're on the road. In your van. Signs that say detour and do not enter are just plain bad for business. Well, here's a sign that's great for business. It says 0% financing and up to 2 years complimentary scheduled maintenance on Mercedes-Benz Sprinter or Metris vans. Powerful, capable, and affordable. That's Mercedes-Benz Van Power. With pioneering safety technologies and low total cost of ownership, Mercedes-Benz vans are the right choice for your business. Check out the full lineup of Mercedes-Benz vans starting at just $25,995. 0% financing and up to 2 years complimentary scheduled maintenance. That's van power for all. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
Starting ad price refers to base model Metris worker cargo van. Excludes all options, taxes, title registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Please see your dealer or go to mvvans.com for further details and exclusions.
Deliberations continue in Bill Cosby's criminal sex assault trial. The jury returning to the courtroom several times with questions for the judge.
Right now it's in God's hands. There's nothing we can do about it. But we are pleased that they are asking questions and they're asking the judge to bring back the facts so they can see them.
Andrew Wyatt is a Cosby spokesman. Congress taking more action against Russia.
The Senate has overwhelmingly approved of additional sanctions against Russia. The 92-7 procedural vote advanced a measure that would also establish a congressional review process, prohibiting the president from lifting these sanctions without congressional approval, making it difficult for the Trump administration to lift sanctions unilaterally. Testifying before a House committee, Secretary of State Rex Tillerson says the measures would handcuff the administration.
I think it is important that we be given sufficient flexibility to achieve.
One Senate aide involved in the negotiations says the intent is to ensure a strong policy towards Russia. At the State Department, Rich Edson, Fox News.
The family of the American college student who was just released from a North Korean prison is grateful he's home in Cincinnati, but Otto Warmbier is in a coma.
Being able to see Otto for the first time in, I bet it's 18 months, it was fantastic. Otto's not in great shape right now, and he's been through a real tough time, and it's great to have him with us.
Fred Warmbier speaking on Fox's Tucker Carlson tonight. The full interview airs tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. U.S. officials blame the North Korean government for a series of cyber attacks dating to 2009. Targets include the media, aerospace, and financial sectors, as well as infrastructure here and across the world. The FBI and Homeland Security say the cyber attacks were carried out by a group known as Hidden Cobra, and more are expected. I'm Kathleen Maloney, Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you cool all summer long. Call 866-EXPERTS or you can visit them online at chiefbauer.com.
I'm laughing at our texters. What happens if McGregor wins?
What if it happens? What if? It's not.
I'm not laughing at you, texter, because I'm just trying to rile Jeremy up as well.
Not going to happen. Tonight, thunderstorms, low of 69. Tomorrow, Thursday, hot and humid, high 92, low of 68. Friday, more thunderstorms, high 91, low of 71. Right now, it is cloudy, but 85 degrees in Champaign-Urbana.
And it's time for... Oh, yeah.
It is Drive Time, presented by Honda BMW Champaign. For new and used vehicles, visit their huge inventory at the corner of Neal and Burwash and Savoy, or visit them online at drivechampaign.com. Well, I'll tell you, there's a recap the first 2 hours of the Tay and J Show.
Well, Jeremy Warner, it was all about Flag Day, and Flag Day, according to Mike Claiborne, is when you can assess your team properly for the rest of the season. So what did we do? We went around baseball. We talked to Kevin Wheeler about the Cardinals. We talked to Chris Emma about the Cubs. And we talked to Dan Hayes about the White Sox. What did we learn? With Wheeler, we learned that he does not agree with me, even though I didn't tell him that Lance Lynn should not be dealt. He thinks he should be if the price is right.
Yeah, if you get the right price for him, which I think has got to be some good prospects.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
I mean, because
without a doubt.
Even for a rental, he's a very good piece for a contending team. And there's a lot out there in the American League that could use a starting pitcher.
Without a doubt.
I think if you can add a long-term piece, plus Kevin made the point, I mean, they have so much pitching depth coming up. Jack Flaherty's having an unbelievable year. Luke Weaver's having an unbelievable year. He can fill in that spot. And I don't think it's about this year.
No.
It's not about this year for the Cardinals. Yeah, you can still contend this year with the pieces that you have.
Sure.
You can, contend next year, but for me, it's about long-term.
Right.
With this franchise and with this roster. We talked about the death of Oscar Taveras. Took away a big piece of what they were supposed to have.
It did.
But next offseason, I'd rather spend money on a huge need rather than an area of strength. And
Yep.
Lance Lynn is an area of strength, especially in the long-term future with Alex Reyes once he gets healthy, Luke Weaver, Jack Flaherty, all that. I mean, Carlos Martinez at the top, Mike Leake in the middle of that rotation. I'd go get J.D. Martinez and try and trade for another bat.
Amen.
With Lance Lynn. That's what I would try to do.
You know why? Because there's 3 million fans, right, that don't want to just give up on a season, even though the Cardinals aren't giving up. They still want to see somebody in the middle of that order. And we talked about Jed Jerko. Bless his young heart. He's done everything he can so far to kind of occupy that 4 hole and has done a pretty good job with it. But the means regress to the means, whatever that term is, that's happening with Jed Jerko. And right now you've got a little bit of a situation where you got Carpenter hitting. Now Dexter Fowler's starting to hit. You've got the 1-2 thing.
Don't tell Carpenter he's better in the leadoff.
Yeah, don't do that. Do not do that. And Piscotty, Kevin agreed. He's not really a 3 guy. I've said that all along. I'd like to see him at 5. I'd like to see Molina push down to 6. That still leaves a hole, though, right in the middle of that lineup. So we'll see what the Cardinals can do with that. Otherwise, maybe add a bullpen. Or the other thing that I kind of mentioned was Michael Wacha. Do you finally eventually move him to the bullpen? Maybe take over not so much a Travis Miller role, but maybe eventually kind of push everything back or eventually be a closer.
I think a comp you can use now would be Mike Montgomery.
Yeah, good call.
With
That's
the Cubs. A longer reliever can give you a couple innings, and his stuff's good for a couple innings.
It is.
He doesn't get 5-6 anymore.
No,
right?
it's after that.
He's not that kind of player. I think the Cardinals long term still set up well. You still got a good foundation, and you have young talent coming up through the system.
Right.
I just think you're kind of in a weird spot the next year and a half.
It is kind of a weird spot.
Right. I think you're kind of retooling.
Yep.
You can still contend, but I think you're gearing up for another great run, probably starting about 2019.
And Mike Matheny's the hottest grandpa out there.
We covered that yesterday. We also talked some Cubs with Chris Emma, 670thescore.com. He thinks the Cubs need to go get 2 pitchers.
Yes.
He said one, maybe a long-term arm. He mentioned a couple names like Sonny Gray, Chris Archer, Jose Quintana. I don't know if I give up Eloy Jimenez for Sonny Gray. I give him up for the other 2.
Okay.
And you got to add more pieces to that as well. I'm interested if the Cubs go that big. I think they might go shorter, smaller.
Yeah.
I mean, Sonny Gray for me, if you can give up Heimer, Candelario, and Dylan Cease, I might do that.
Okay.
But he also said go get a guy like Jeremy Hellickson. I think that makes a lot of sense.
That does make a lot of sense.
You need somebody who you can just count on every 5th day to give you 5-6 quality innings.
And they're not getting it right now. And the one thing about it, you've got all these prospects, and a lot of them have now hit the big league club. Well, part of the reason you add depth like that is not just so all 18 of them can eventually do something at the major league level. Some of those are kind of washed away and held back to say, all right, you're going to help us in a move that will make us better. And I think that's what the Cubs have to look at with Theo. And you know they are, Theo and Jed. But
we forget how young they are.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of these guys are in their 2nd or 3rd year. And we're sitting there talking.
Or first full season with Schwarber.
And we're worried about them. It's like, you know what, guys? They had a really good year last year. Maybe they went a little bit past expectation the last 2 years. Now they're maybe coming back a little.
Yeah, and their pitching needs to get fixed. But once this lineup starts hitting.
Yep. I still think, and we didn't talk about this today.
They're the team in the NL Central. I would still be shocked if they don't win this division, which it might only take 85 games to do.
Well, no doubt at this point. At this point, it could. I'd still like to see them, though, and I'm not a Cub fan. I'd love to see them go out and get a guy like Johnny Cueto that can make that much of a difference come playoffs this year because they're still built to win this year.
We also talked about the White Sox, which is a very different conversation, a little bit more like the Cardinals, but even longer term, where the Cardinals might retool by trading a piece like Lance Lynn or trading I don't know, something else.
Yeah.
But the White Sox, they are a team who's selling. They are still selling. They haven't completed this rebuild. Had a strong draft from most analysts' perspective. Their prospects are making progress in the minors, and they have some pieces to deal.
Okay.
I mean, Todd Frazier, can he get as much as you thought maybe before the season? I don't know, but he's starting to heat up a little bit. Jose Quintana is still a valuable piece. I don't know if they're going to deal him because I don't think they're going to get the price they want. But David Robertson, another guy in that bullpen, whether it's Tommy Canley, who's had a great year. Maybe the White Sox want to hold on to him long term, but that's a position of depth. If somebody blows you away with a couple of good prospects for a controllable bullpen arm, I'd totally consider that if I'm the White Sox. Melky Cabrera is still on this team. But also, you've had a couple guys who are intriguing. Matt Davidson's had a decent year. He's got a lot of power, but a lot of strikeouts. But Avisail Garcia has been one of the best hitters in the American League. He's an all-star. He's kind of turning into what we all thought he would be. But it's hard to buy into it long because he's been so bad for so long.
Whoa, why are you doing this all of a sudden?
But it's hard not to get excited about him as a future piece of this team.
Is he a guy, though, that I don't think anybody's untouchable, right, on this White Sox team?
No.
Nobody. And that's the thing that you have to kind of figure out in your mind. Is there a piece or two, and there are guys smarter than us figuring this out, that you would like to keep, like a Quintana and a Davidson?
I mean, you're not going to trade Moncada and those guys are any of the prospects, but
the guy's pretty much on the roster now.
I don't think they will trade Abreu. I don't think there's a lot of need for power in Major League Baseball right now, or a first baseman or a DH, so I don't think the market's good enough to trade him. Plus, he's got the Cuban angle. Yes. There's comfort there with guys like Moncada and Luis Robert. So I don't think they'll deal him. So I think that's the one guy that they probably won't deal because the market's not going to be.
It's going to be fun to watch these kids grow. It'll be fun to get up to a White Sox game in the next couple of years and watch some of these kids. We'll need to do our show again.
We also talked a couple Illinois-related items. Mikhail McIntosh, Illinois State grad transfer, finally makes it official. He's going to Oregon.
Okay.
So for Illinois' perspective, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to Wisconsin.
Amen.
And he's not going to Minnesota.
Amen.
So that's probably a good thing for and Oregon's been a great program. I think he'll fit in well there. It stinks for Illinois State, of course.
It does.
But we also talked about Houston Griffith, son of Howard Griffith, a top 100 prospect, a safety. Has not put Illinois in his top 7. His top 7 is loaded, though. Okay. The likes of Notre Dame, Nebraska, Ohio State, Alabama.
Oh, Penn State's in there.
Penn State
Did that
as well.
surprise you that Nebraska and Penn State? No, not really. I mean, those are national powerhouses that have been for a long time, so that doesn't surprise me at all. So Houston Griffith, Illinois, not on your list.
Do you find it disrespectful that he didn't put Illinois in his top group?
No, not at all. I told you it was refreshing for me. It's refreshing for me that a kid that I know is not going to come to Illinois that just goes ahead and says, listen, it was a good run. My dad played there. He had a lot of good times. I'm not going to school there.
Texas and Florida State in there as well.
Oh, by the way, just a couple of other.
He didn't include USC, UCLA.
Tom Herman, what's he done?
But it's disrespectful that he didn't include Illinois. Listen, I get it. Illini fans are frustrated with recruiting right now.
Yes.
What does he owe Illinois? What do these kids owe Illinois?
And why would he come here and know that I'm not going to win at a high level like I could at these other schools right now?
He's an elite recruit. He can pick his school, basically. That's how many offers he has.
Yes.
He wants to play at an elite program with elite facilities, with proven elite coaches who have sent a bunch of players to the NBA. He wants to go to the NFL. He wants to go to an NFL factory.
You can't blame him.
There's nothing wrong with
that. There's nothing wrong with that. And hopefully in my lifetime I'll see it again where Illinois gets on a nice little stretch of 4 or 5 years where they're going to bowl games, and then I'll be a little more ticky, if you will, about them not coming here.
That's Drive Time presented by Honda.
We also talked about Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah. It's dumb.
Okay, go. Malcolm's do.
Dumb. Why are people paying money for this? That's Drive Time presented by Honda BMW Champaign. For new and used vehicles, visit their huge inventory at the corner of Neal and Burwash and Savoy, or visit them online at drivechampaign.com.
That is awesome. Malcolm Hill, former Illini NBA draft prospect. He's a guy that wants to talk NBA, and I can't wait to do it with him next. He's going to be in studio. It is the Tay and J Show.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat. From Charlotte, here's Dari Noka.
I can't wait to see how the NCAA modifies its rules to eliminate this. Michigan's recent team trip to Italy racked up a total cost in the ballpark of $800,000, $800,000. An anonymous donor paid for it all, said there were zero restrictions on the cost. Good to have friends in high places, huh? Is that a violation? Players earning impermissible benefits? Sure doesn't look like it. Teams are allowed to take their players around the world. You hear about it more in college basketball, but there are no rules saying it can't happen elsewhere. It's a learning experience. And isn't that what college is supposed to be? A time to continue learning. Harbaugh nailed it with this quote on the Rich Eisen show. The wonderful thing was that it was really all about the players and their experience. Not all learning is done in the classroom or on a football field. I could just see the NCAA, though. Man, he thought he had us with these satellite camps, and then we got him when we got rid of those. Now he takes him to Italy? Point Harbaugh. In 60 seconds, numbers that prove the NBA's dangerous imbalance.
Gentlemen, hurry into JCPenney's biggest sale of the season. Raise your game with great savings on menswear designed by Michael Strahan exclusively at JCPenney. Get 50% off suit separates and dress shirts from Collection by Michael Strahan. And up to 40% off MSX activewear, including big and tall. Save more with a coupon for $10 off when you spend $25 or more on select items. Hurry, and Sunday. That's getting your pennies worth. JCPenney. Coupon valid 6/14 to 6/18. Some exclusions and restrictions apply. See store at jcp.com for details. Season 1st, 6/14 to 6/18.
Golf's second major starts this Thursday, and DraftKings.com has a $100,000 contest that's totally free to enter. 1 week fantasy golf at DraftKings is easy to play. Just pick 6 golfers before the tourney tees off. Then follow live as your golfers rack up points for birdies, eagles, and more. It all starts this Thursday morning, so hurry to DraftKings.com now and use code SportsBeat to enter the free $100,000 fantasy golf contest. That's promo code SportsBeat. DraftKings, the game inside the game. Eligibility restrictions may apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
So the Warriors are champs again, and according to Vegas, will be next year too, and it won't even be close. Shortly after their Game 5 clincher, the Westgate Las Vegas Superbook released its odds for next year's title. The Warriors are the largest preseason favorite ever in any professional sport. They've been given minus 200 odds. That means you'd have to bet $200 to win 100. Who's next? Obviously Cleveland. The Cavs are considerably lower at 3-1. The only other team with single-digit odds. Then you dip way down to 12-1. The Spurs. 15-1, the Celtics. Everybody else, 30-1 or worse. 4 teams are better than 30-1 odds to win the title. And sometimes in leagues, I know you get the big surprise, the Rams in 99, the 87 Twins, the Predators this hockey season. This is not happening in this NBA. With the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Dari Noka.
Hey, it's Stephanie Pratt with Coldwell Banker, the real estate group, your realtor that rocks the real estate market. I so love to cook and smoke. Meats, that is. I want you to be a rock and cook too, so I'm going to hook one lucky winner up with a master-built smokehouse smoker. Just listen for Stevie J in the morning and Tay and J in the afternoon to tell you the text. When they do, text a keyword to 359-2255 and you'll be entered to win. And let me rock your summer parties in a new home. Go to StephaniePrattHomes.com to contact me today. And for information on the smoker giveaway, go to ESPNCU.com.
Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series.
It's our trip to Wrigley Field, Chicago. You can join us Wednesday, July 5th. The Cubs take on Tampa Bay at 1:20. You can see the world champion Chicago Cubs, and the rooftop tickets include all your food and beverage. Pay online at ESPNCU.com or stop by our studios Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, 2702 South Boulder in Urbana. Again, join us July 5th, Cubs rooftop trip, ESPNCU.com for details. Coach Mike Ditka is not just talking sports. What will he say next? Hear him here Monday and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 8 with Brother Johnny and me, Stevie J, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
It is the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lonte, Jeremy Warner, Malcolm Hill joining us in studio, and he is incredibly excited to know that Illinois has a fidget spinner, but I think he already knew that. Malcolm, that fired me up, man. How are you doing?
And I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Doing well. Doing well.
Thanks for stopping in. What are you doing in town?
No, I was actually on my way back to Chicago.
Do you know where you're at?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. But I was actually on my way back to Chicago to train again, and DB told me that, you guys asked me to be back on the show. I said, yeah, of course.
Well, that's awesome.
Well, eventually you want to get into the media thing, don't you?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, I would like to get paid to do this one day. Guys just talk about stuff going on in the sports industry and stuff. So,
all right, yeah. Can I ask you one hot topic right now?
Yes.
It fired me up because I don't get the fascination.
Do it.
Mayweather-McGregor.
Man, it's sad. Look, I don't want to be a bad influence. I saw it on my way up here driving. But, I'm surprised it's actually happening sooner than – it's going to be in August?
Yeah.
Usually Floyd sets up fights that are like 5 months later. It's like coming up fast.
Are you excited?
Malcolm's fired up.
Yeah. It's been talked about for like a year. I thought it wasn't going to happen.
He hates it.
It's an MMA fighter.
Yes.
Who just created this huge buzz, right? And now he's getting paid because he's going to get his butt kicked.
You think so?
Yeah, he's not a boxer.
I mean, he's been training though.
I think he's gonna come out in that first round, Malcolm, and he's gonna try to do everything he can to knock Floyd out. And if it doesn't work, it's done.
I think it's gonna be a good fight. Floyd's not the type to knock somebody out.
Yeah,
that's true.
But he's not fighting a boxer.
Listen to the youth, Jeremy. Listen to the youth of America.
I'm just happy it's happening because I thought Floyd was done. He looked like he was enjoying life. I was like, yeah.
I think I'd be done with that.
Well, Malcolm, you are training, getting ready for the NBA draft. I mean, we think about the workouts and all those things, but I'm thinking about just traveling to get to all the workouts. How many flights have you been on the past month or two?
I'll say like it's double digits somewhere.
Wow.
10 to 12. Yeah. I didn't think it would be like this.
It's crazy, right? I mean, when you go for a workout, what is that just from the time you land to the time you get to the gym, and what all tell people what is included in a workout?
Yeah, man, it sounds nice with my friends when I tell them I'm going to all these cities.
Right.
The actuality is I get there the day before, like mid-evening, wake up early, work out for the team, eat lunch, and fly right back out.
Wow.
Same day.
So
yeah, get there the day before, rest, sleep, wake up in the morning, work out, fly out.
Are the workouts pretty similar with each team? Do they work out basically the same?
Yeah, for the most part. It's all the similar concepts. You know, some teams are different than others when it comes to, you know, how well they want to see you condition.
Mm.
You know, so some teams might want to run you more than others, but for the most part, it's all the same concept.
What is the interview like? Because this is a job interview, right? I mean,
Yeah.
do they sit you down, and what are some of the questions? What are the things they're looking to get from you?
They just want to get to, you know who you are as a person. Just, you know, short and simple. It's nothing really too in-depth, and I think all you got to do is just be yourself, honestly.
So where have you been so far? I mean, what are the teams showing a lot of interest in you?
I gotta think. You know, I go by
double-digit flights. I mean,
I go by
half
the
the
day.
week.
Go by the day.
Just off the top, OKC, Mavs, Golden State. I hope this isn't recorded. You know.
Oh no, nobody's hearing this. Nobody's hearing this.
If I forget, it's like 4 other teams. But
Sure, but I mean, there's a lot of teams showing the interest right now. I mean, how do you kind of approach this? I mean, do you just let it go once draft night comes here? I mean, what are your kind of expectations going into this?
It's really tricky because the type of basketball player I've always been like a team type of guy.
Yeah.
And in these workouts, you just have to be selfish. That's just
Right.
how it is. Like, you know, first part, I had a tough time, you know, understanding that. You know, you're talking to a kid. I played for the same team since 3rd grade when it comes to AAU.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about, you know, team ball stuff like that. But, you know, I've gotten better with it as this went along, just understanding it. So I have a couple more before the draft. So just all about competing. And I think it's great that I get to know the other guys around the country.
Yeah.
You know, and competing against them because a lot of the players I've never played against in my life.
What's like the best? Have you had like a one-on-one showdown with somebody? I mean, who are some of the guys you're competing with?
Well, I would say some people you guys know. I've seen Zach Irvin a couple times.
Yeah.
And I've seen Nas Long from Iowa State. Even not at the workouts, when I was at Impact, I went against like Jaron Blassingham, Juwan Evans, you know. So I actually saw a guy from what's his name? I forgot his name. The one that led the NCAA in scoring this year.
The kid from Central Michigan?
Yeah.
That kid?
Oh.
I can't remember his name. But
I was just hanging out with him too. Yeah, Marcus King.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Marcus King. You know, I shouldn't forget his name because he was lighting us up. I mean, yeah. But Marcus King, I went against him
pretty good against
times.
Central Michigan, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
he was lighting us up. Malcolm Hill is our guest, one of the more popular Illini ever. When we talk to NFL guys that maybe are looking at the draft, a lot of times they're identifying teams that they think need them, right? Like, in other words, this team doesn't have as many linebackers, or this team, whatever. Have you kind of tried to identify maybe an NBA team that – I know it doesn't work that way. I mean, you can't call your shot, but do you try to identify teams that you think you would fit in with better?
Yeah, a little bit, because I watch the NBA a lot, so I know a lot of the NBA rosters. But it's hard to predict because there's a lot of teams that make free agent moves and trades throughout the summer. So you never know how it can turn out. But the one thing I say is different with the NBA compared to like all the other sports that draft is we draft off potential.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I think we might be the only sport that does that. You know, it's all potential based. That's why a lot of young guys get picked early.
Is that frustrating for you?
I mean, not really, because you seen how it turns out. It's a risk teams are worth to take when you see people like Kevin Durant,
right?
People like Dwight Howard, LeBron James. They got drafted when they were 17 or 18. So I'd understand you know, the risk that teams would be willing to take with that.
How do you fit into the NBA? How do you find a role?
Well, I think the first thing is I can actually focus on basketball. That's just it, because you have so much free time. You know, actually, when I was with the Mavs, it was like a Big Ten reunion. Saw A.J. Hammonds, Jared Utah.
Oh, that's right.
Yogi Ferrell. And I was actually in the workout with Zach Irvin. I was like, this is crazy. You know, just talking to them, they work out from like 9 to 11, 2 hours, and then have the rest of the day. Like me personally, I'll probably go back in the gym a second time. I'm not that much of a fun guy. Honestly. I'm like
a boring Malcolm
I'm a boring person.
Yeah, so when you're not traveling and you're not in the gym,
that's awesome.
I mean, you have more free time than you've had in a long time. What do you do?
I mean, just watch basketball clips, maybe play video games, and, you know, hang out with my friends, family, talk to them. Man, yeah, my life's pretty simple.
I mean, you had to do everything here, going back to how you fit in the NBA. I mean, you had to do a little bit of everything, play every position here. We talked a lot about that. John Gross talked a lot about that. Do you have to do something more specific in an NBA? You got to be a role player, right?
Yeah, of course. You know, I talked about that last time I was here because, I mean, a lot of the feedback I'm getting is like, you know, I can do a lot of things really well, but I have to find that one thing that I can excel in. You know, and I think, you know, with hard work, you know, I can find that. And, you know, to be honest, I have to actually lose a lot of weight, too. You know, since I was playing all those positions.
Yeah.
I was at like 230, 235. They want me. Some teams want me to like 210.
Really?
Yeah. 210, 215.
Is that to be quicker?
Yeah, that's the way the NBA is trending. Honestly, if you look at it, you know, if you go to an NBA game, it's not that many, you know, huge guys. They're all fairly slim. I mean, look at LeBron James at age 32. He's doing all that. He only weighs like 250, 260 now.
That's crazy.
He was like 275.
Yeah.
He's slimmed down.
In this NBA, we saw it in the finals. Threes. Is that where you gotta take the next step, maybe? Or
yeah, most definitely. And you know, me not being ball dominant, I'll probably have more looks from three, just because I'm not gonna be, you know, probably the focus on my team. Probably gonna be with an all-star, someone else like that. And another trend the NBA is taking, I think I can do well is you know, there's no positions really anymore.
Yeah.
No positions.
I think that helps a guy like you, right?
Right.
Yeah. I think that's the benefit of me playing 4 and 5, part of my Illinois career, because I can be able to guard those guys and I can guard the wings. So, yeah.
You've always talked about it, Malcolm, and I think it's true. Obviously, you're a workout fiend. You love being in the gym. How much has that changed with regards now to getting ready for a pro career compared to maybe even college? Not that you didn't work out hard, obviously, for Illini fans to hear, but, I mean, does it change? Do you change the way you try to work out?
Yeah, for sure, because when I was in college, I was also focused on school.
Right.
So I would probably have 2 hours available for gym time. I'd probably just work out and then go back to my dorm, do schoolwork. Now that I don't have school anymore, let's say I have a free time in my day, I could do stuff like include massages, include extra stretching, include more conditioning, or just stuff outside of the court that I can get better at. You know,
quickness
like
drills
that.
And such. So you guys are humans then, right? We talked earlier in the show that sometimes we think you're machines, and you don't have personal lives.
It's really funny because I kind of, it's weird saying this, but like I kind of got like that, you know, just going around different teams, talking to different managers, scouts. I'm like, they're just like all of us.
Yeah.
You know? Even like watching the guys work out, you know, like I saw Dirk Nowitzki. I'm just like, he's just another guy just like all of us.
That guy's on my TV all the time. Was there another one that, I mean, did you talk with somebody that just kind of blew you away that, whoa, I'm part of this now?
Not talk, but I saw a lot of vets for different teams in the gym. You know, they let the young guys do their own, like, stuff the coaches do, vets do, you know, their own thing a little bit. But I mean, I saw Wesley Matthews, and that's actually one guy I like to watch a lot. And I was just like, you know,
kind of model your game after him.
Yeah,
two-way guy.
Yeah, two-way guy, spot up threes, plays really tough, and he has that chip on his shoulder because he was an undrafted guy.
Right. How often do you lean on a guy like Brandon Paul or a Myers Leonard that's in the league? Do you talk to those guys about what you should expect? I mean, I assume you've already done that, possibly if you were going to, before you started the workouts and such. How often do you kind of lean on them?
Myers is more busy. I talked to him last summer, but I talked to his best friend Brady, and he let me know, you know, the things to expect and, you you know, how I should work. And I talk to Brandon. I talk to him a lot, you know, especially because we have the same agent.
Sure.
He lets me know, you know, what the professional life is going to be like, you know, how his experiences are, you know, kind of giving me a heads up of what's to come.
The goal is the NBA, and Brandon's fought for that, but also Brandon's having a very nice career overseas. We've seen guys like James Augustine have a career overseas. I mean, what is your kind of plan if you don't get drafted?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, or if you do get drafted in the second round, there's no guarantee, right? So just what's your mindset about all that?
To be honest, I'm just going in a free mindset because sometimes going undrafted is better than getting drafted in the second round.
Sure.
Because you can pick which team you can go to. I mean, so I'm not even going to watch the draft. I'm going to be hanging out, you know, with my mom. I guess she wants to come visit me.
Well, they do want to do that.
Are you going to be checking, or you just put the phone away? What do you do?
The only thing I'm going to check is, you know, my agent texting me, giving me updates. You know, because, like I said, the draft now is more of potential than anything. You know, I just want to go to a team that, you know, believes in me because I'm going to give it my all. You know, I'm not going to, like, get caught up in the lifestyle or be satisfied that, you know, I'm finally here.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, I have other goals. You know, I want to be the best basketball player I can possibly be.
And then he wants to take my job, which will work out about right, Malcolm. I mean, honestly, it's going to work out right. Malcolm Hill, former Illini, of course, NBA prospect in studio. Have you had a chance to meet the new coaching staff?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think of these guys?
I like them. I like them a lot. I think they'll be good for the guys. You know, I'm really excited to see what they'll do this year, and I think they have some good talent. You know, I think the thing with this team is, you know, they have a lot of good players, but I'm not sure which one is going to be the standout guy, the one to lead them, because they're all young.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's the same situation. It kind of reminds me of when Ray got hurt right before we played Maryland. We were in the locker room like, well, who's going to be the guy?
It's your turn, Malcolm.
It didn't even work. It just happened like that. Right. You know, it wasn't really said. You know, it just kind of happened like that. So I think they'll do fine, though, you know, as a unit because they're very close. And, you know, the kind of vets on the team now were just young guys a year ago. And, you know, hopefully I kind of showed them how to, you know.
Absolutely.
You know, right leader. So
Malcolm, you had a phenomenal career. I mean, the numbers you put up, the performances you had, but the tournament wasn't there. You never got to that NCAA. And it wasn't your fault whatsoever.
Not at all.
I mean, how much have you digested your career? You know, your coach gets fired or whatever, but you had such a great career. I mean, how have you kind of digested it the last couple months?
No, I want to thank, you know, Gross and the staff because, you know, I wouldn't have been the player I was, you know, without them. And, you know, things happen. You know, I think we had a lot of unfortunate situations happen where we couldn't make the tournament, but, you know, I don't kind of dwell on it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm actually just looking forward to seeing what, you know, Underwood will do for these guys because the way he changed Oklahoma State around was incredible. So, I mean, I think we have, you know, fairly similar talent that Oklahoma State had. I mean, they might have had Juwan Evans. He was, you know, a different type of talent.
Right.
But, you know, I'm excited to see what this coaching staff will do, you know, for this upcoming team.
I know you say you don't dwell on it, but was there just a pressure on this team?
It's a good question.
That was a good question. No, I wouldn't say it was pressure. I think it was a little bit of pressure toward the end,
right?
You know, especially with a lot of seniors on the team. You know, it was probably a little bit of pressure. I think the loss at Rutgers hurt a lot.
Yeah.
That was bad momentum going into the tournament. We got, you know, smacked by Michigan in some practice jerseys. That looked really bad. I actually was talking to Zach about that when I saw him at a workout.
That team got hot at the right time, too.
Man, yeah.
Well, no doubt, right? You knew it was going to be a Disney movie at the end with that thing. Number 3, right, all time. Number 3 all-time scorer. I mean, I know you probably haven't had a chance to really think about that. That's not in your blood and your makeup probably, but boy, that'd be a pretty neat thing to look back on one day, Malcolm. That's a heck of an honor.
Yeah, one day. You know.
Not now, huh?
Nah, not now. You know, I'm looking forward to my next career phase in basketball. Oh.
Yeah, DB, Derek Burson, SID at Illinois. Just put the Malcolm Hill toothbrush holder in front of you. I mean, when that came about, what went through your head?
This looks nothing like me at all. No, but it was a great idea, though. I thought it was pretty cool.
Because they're usually right on with those things. I mean, they're usually pretty good with those.
Yeah, I like how they tried to get my facial hair, though, because People make fun of me saying I have no facial hair. They got the little peach fuzz chin hair and mustache. I appreciated that, though.
How many of those do you own?
I own a couple. Family members?
Oh, yeah.
About 10. My family was really excited about that one.
It's your crush shoulder. All right, I've got to ask you about the NBA. What did you think of this year, and not only this year, but the playoffs in the NBA? A lot of people saying, it was just blowouts every night. It wasn't that fun. What did you think of the NBA playoffs this year, up to the finals and through the finals?
Up to the finals? No, I was just thinking the Warriors are just blowing every team out. I was actually going to be in tune with the Spurs and Warriors until Kawhi got hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I'd probably watch the first half. Once I saw how things were going, I'd just be like,
enough of this.
Yeah, enough of it. Eastern Conference was a little bit more competitive, but Cavs are just a different level. But, after the finals right now, I'm just upset how people are like just destroying LeBron right now.
Right.
And Durant. Malcolm, to me it feels like nobody enjoys just watching games anymore.
They don't.
I just think people don't appreciate athletes like they should. People are criticizing LeBron for his finals record, so I'm just like, is it better if he doesn't go to the finals at all?
Right.
And the team he's going against and the numbers he's putting up at that age, I don't think it makes me upset when people criticize LeBron about that.
Does it make you as a player upset that Kevin Durant went to the Warriors and they just dominated everybody rather than staying at Oklahoma City?
Oh, not at all. That's his decision. We don't. Nobody knows what he thinks. I know people had a glimpse of when he was talking about he always finishes second. He wants to be first. If you're going to criticize Kevin Durant, you should criticize David West, too. Mm-hmm. Nobody was really criticizing David West.
Good call.
Or Karl Malone when he signed with the Lakers.
Exactly.
That just didn't work, right?
It happens. It's just, I think, the way social media is now.
Sure. There's no doubt about it.
What was that? What was that like to deal with as a player? Social media. How did you handle that? Because a lot of Illinois greats that came through here didn't have to deal with that. Dee and Darren didn't have to deal with that, even though it would have been kind of good for them. But
I just stayed away from it. I didn't really pay attention to it. Like I said, I wasn't even on my Twitter all year like that. I got on on special occasions, like my birthday, thanks for all the birthday wishes, or at the end of the season. But I don't really pay attention to it like that.
Well,
how hard is that, though?
Yeah, I was going to say, there again, you're human.
Yeah, it's not hard. Just create another Twitter that nobody knows. You can follow up on everything else, but that's all I did. So,
and for a kid like you that's so likable, Jeremy and I laugh about that. This doesn't happen often, and I don't mean this in this way, but once in a while somebody will say something about our show, and you're just like, oh, well, that kind of stung. Or, I didn't like to hear that. You're human. Is it hard to hear criticism, I guess, or is that something you just learn to deal with?
I'm kind of used to it, honestly. I've heard every type of criticism about me, ever since probably 5th grade, even before that. I heard criticism when I was in middle school telling people I wanted to play in the NBA. They said you're good because you're tall.
Right.
I was the kid with braces, goggles. All I did was talk about basketball. Nobody cared. So, that's just something I'm accustomed to. I'm used to. I take every criticism, in a positive way, because all I can do is just get better from it.
That's good.
Everybody's always trying to drag people down, right?
Yeah,
right.
You can't please everybody. That's impossible.
If I wouldn't have hurt my knee, I would have been the third all-time leading scorer, Malcolm. But instead, I just would rather criticize you. Hey, I want to ask you a question about college ball and the NBA. I understand the difference. The talent level at one area where you've got so much of it. But Jeremy, a lot of times, preaches to our listeners about the fact that the NBA is where it's at with regards to that is quality basketball. Mm-hmm. And I'm not asking you to defend college basketball against the NBA, but how much different is it? You're a guy that's playing. I know you haven't played in the NBA yet, we hope.
Hopefully.
But how much different, as a guy that's so knowledgeable and played at a high level in college, when you watch an NBA game, how much does it appear to you to be just completely different? Or is it that much different?
It's a lot different. It's very different. With college, court's smaller, and you can stay in the lane.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as much space. It's more congested. But when it comes to NBA, there's more space and people are more skilled.
Oh.
I think that's why some people think, NBA's lazy.
Right.
But in reality, college only plays about 30-some games a year. NBA plays about 80, plus.
Yeah, 82
LeBron's
plus.
playing 105.
You're expected to perform and entertain night in and night out, no excuses. And if you don't, someone else is going to come take your spot. So, it's just I love watching NBA and college. They're both different and unique.
Right.
I think NBA is more challenging just because, you're flying day in, day out, performing almost every night. But at the same time, college, you have other stuff to worry about.
Sure.
School, not accepting benefits. Seems
Right.
like everything you do,
Right.
you get in trouble for.
Calling mom.
Yeah.
Of course, you'll have to do that in the pro level, too.
Yeah.
What's your mom told you about being a pro now?
She hasn't really talked about it too much. She's just being supportive. My mom and dad, they just want to make sure, I'm in a good mindset, making sure I'm not overwhelmed and getting the best out of, everything. So, yeah.
So you signed with an agent.
Mm-hmm.
That usually comes with a check.
So you are
from
turning,
the agency.
He is turning pro then.
What was the first thing you bought?
I didn't buy anything.
You haven't bought anything?
I haven't bought anything.
Oh.
I assume you didn't buy a fidget spinner?
You're a smart kid.
Didn't buy anything. I'll ask for a little cash for little stuff. But
yeah.
I even told my parents, my friends, I'm not buying a car until my second paycheck.
What's the car? Are you a big car guy?
I'm not at all.
Neither am I. I just want to get somewhere.
And I'm happy with my 2003 Honda.
Bam.
It's got, I like the leg room, and the music sounds good when I'm driving. It sounds good enough.
Good.
I don't need an expensive car right now.
Do you buy mom something? Do you buy mom and dad something?
Not yet. They understand. They understand.
I still treat my wallet like, I'm a college kid still.
Hey, I want to know 40-year-old Malcolm because I guarantee you he's going to have a lot of cash in there. That's what I like to hear. You mentioned music. What are you listening to these days?
Not really into the new school.
Little Def Leppard, Poison, kind of Scorpions kind of thing? No?
I'm not in. I like old school music. I like, people like Logic. My friend's going to laugh at me when he...
That's old. That's old.
Everybody who knows me knows I love listening to Logic. I love Jay-Z, Kanye. I'm not really into the new school rap like that.
Yeah. I want to ask you one more. You mentioned things that happened here. Kendrick Nunn. Do you talk with him still? I mean, how often do you touch base with him now that he's up at Oakland?
We check in every now and then.
Yeah.
He actually has a teammate that I was teammates with at a high school camp there. No, he's doing really well though. He's working hard. I expect great things from him, especially because, I told him, you need to be averaging, 30 points. Not really. But you need to be scoring a lot of points because you're going from a Big Ten conference. We're so defensive.
Right.
It is almost like we hurt each other.
Yeah.
Honestly. You see all these other conferences, scores 90 to 100. A high-scoring Big Ten game is 50 to 60.
That's a great point.
It's like 90s NBA, right?
Yeah, we're almost 60s and 50s. No scoring at all. But it's almost like we hurt each other when it comes to the next level. People think, this year in the NCAA tournament, people were questioning how did this many Big Ten teams get in the tournament until we actually did damage in the tournament.
Right.
But, we're going from, I was like, you're going from a Big Ten school to, school in this conference, you need to be doing some damage.
That's cool to hear. That's cool to hear.
Oakland's had some kids like Kay Felder put up some big points when he
absolutely.
was there. So.
Are the Cardinals going to get it turned around?
I don't know. You know what though? I did buy a new PlayStation.
Uh-oh.
My friend James is listening. Because we were on MLB The Show 17. Yesterday. And I'm gonna start following baseball a little more. Like I said, I'm a Cardinals supporter, not a fan.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I don't follow baseball like that. I might start following now because I need to know the good teams so I can play with them on
if
MLB The Show.
If you trade for a power hitter on MLB The Show, let me know who it is because then I'll get a hold of Mazalok and they can actually do that in real life. They need somebody that can hit home runs.
I think the only home run hitter I know is Albert Pujols and Mike Trout.
Yeah,
he hit home runs. Right?
You're just not a big baseball guy. Have you heard of Aaron Judge?
I have. He's the rookie, right?
Yes.
He's the rookie that's just
taller than you,
just dominating. Yeah, dominating the league.
Did you play baseball ever?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I wasn't that good. I was too scared to swing the bat. This is when I was young. I didn't want to jam my finger. Yeah.
You were one of those that were like, swing!
Yeah.
Okay.
I drew the most walks. As
Good
young
OBP.
kids, little kids don't know how to throw strikes.
Yeah, wasn't known back then. OBP wasn't a big deal. When you were a little
Kids
kid.
don't know how to throw strikes.
They don't. They just throw wherever. Then I played soccer too.
Okay.
I mean, I guess people can guess what position I played. Goalie.
You were goalie?
I was.
You're the tall guy, and that's a good call.
Do you play FIFA? I know a lot of guys play FIFA.
I did. I used to. Kind of stopped though.
Do you have a team in FIFA?
No. The problem is with a lot of guys, if you start to play online too early, you get your butt kicked. That was me. I had nobody to play FIFA.
Oh, yeah, so you don't want to do that.
I just stayed away from it.
Because you got kids like my 10-year-old out there playing that are just kicking your butt every night online.
Yeah, they doing tricks I don't even know how to do. I don't even know how to do it in practice more. I just stay away from it.
How about golf?
Did golf too.
You golfer?
I did a lot of sports, man.
I don't doubt that.
My mom and dad, they were just like, my dad wanted me to play basketball. My mom was like, let the boy do what he wants. We're gonna try all this different stuff. Let's see which one he likes the most.
I love it.
I did golf when I used to live in Arizona for a brief month. I lived in Arizona for about 7 to 8 months.
That's awesome.
When I was in 4th grade, I took golfing lessons. I used to play PGA Tour a lot. I was actually getting kind of good.
I bet.
I can't play golf for save my life now.
Well, you haven't had time.
Yeah, I can't even hit the ball right. Yeah, I don't know which clubs do what. Yeah.
You got time soon.
I'd probably make you feel better if you went out.
Oh, yes. Go out and golf with us.
I want to learn how to play golf when I get older. That would be a sport I would love to play just to ease my mind when I get older.
That would be. I mean, I'm sure a lot of professional athletes, I know on baseball, those guys spend a lot. Of course, they have a lot of time on road trips and
I'm
such.
going to do that and bowling.
Perfect.
See, I'm a bowler. I want to bowl when I get older.
I want to learn how to spin the ball, too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm horrible at that.
Yeah,
horrible at that.
Hey, if Barkley can golf, anybody can golf.
Oh, please. You can't look as bad as him. Yeah. You cannot look as bad as him.
Pretty good at that broadcasting thing, though, so you can take pointers from him.
Yeah, that's like a dream job to me, man. Like, I watch the show just, like, don't they win Emmy Awards, like, almost every year?
Yeah.
Barkley does every year.
And they don't even have a script. They just talk. That's like something I do for free with my friends. During the finals, me, Terrence, and James, we would just, those are my guys, my basketball guys. We just talk, the floor of the game and what's going on.
You should start a podcast or something.
It sounds good.
You should. That's what I do.
I'll start a podcast when I get more fans. Like Richard Jefferson had a podcast.
Yeah,
he was on the team. I thought that was really cool. Him and Shannon Fry.
People would love it. They would love it. What do you think of Barkley and those guys do in college when they would do the NCAA tournament? Did that bother you?
Oh, not at all.
Okay.
They know basketball.
Right.
And I think that's pretty cool as a player in college basketball.
Well, amen.
Because you're looking like, wow, this is like the TNT crew, talking about my game.
That's a good call.
Because a lot of guys talk about, some of them won't even play basketball after the tournament.
Yep.
That's something they can tell people. Like, pull up on a recorder, be like, hey, guys, look at this.
I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's like so cool. That's awesome, I wish they had a chance to talk about me in this tournament, but
you did your part.
You did everything you could.
Well, Malcolm Hill, we really appreciate you stopping by today. You didn't have to do that, but you're welcome anytime.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
Someday you will steal one of our jobs, so might as well just get you used to this thing. But appreciate it. Good luck. We're rooting for you as always, and we'll check in with you soon.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Thanks for inviting me, guys. I appreciate it.
Good stuff. Malcolm Hill. We're back to wrap up the show. It's the Tay and J Show.
This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. What will you do during the next market correction? At Provident, we believe a sound financial plan is the surest way to avoid panic during market volatility. Contact us today to put a plan in place for you. Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Find us online at ProvidentFinancialGroupLLC.com.
Provident, partnerships built on trust.
Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
During warm weather, you need your AC to keep you cool. See your Champagne CarX man right now for an air conditioning performance check starting at $29.99. At CarX Tire and Auto, we can handle everything your car needs from maintenance to repair. And we'll get your air conditioning running perfectly just in time for summer. So don't sweat it. See your CarX man at any of our 3 Champagne locations for a $29.99 air conditioning performance check. All your car needs is CarX Tire and Auto.
Don't worry, call the CarX man.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance.
When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
Winning can be fun, and we love giving away free stuff, but we want to make sure it's fair for everyone. So here are the rules when competing to win on ESPN 93.5. No purchase necessary. Prize must be collected within 30 days during business hours, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 2702 Boulder in Urbana. ESPN Radio assumes no liability due to circumstances beyond our control, and any prize may be substituted with a prize of equal or greater value. Winners are liable for any taxes, tips, or other miscellaneous charges associated with the prize. All contestants must have a valid ID and social security number. Our judges' decisions are final and reserve the right to end any contest at any time for any reason without notice. In the event that a contestant is found to be ineligible for a prize, said prize will not be awarded. And if you win, we reserve the right to use your likeness or voice on the radio or online, and any winners must wait 30 days to win again. Get a complete list of rules and more information on any contest on ESPN Radio at ESPNCU.com. Those are the rules, and good luck from ESPN 93.5.
You already know Houlihan's Restaurant and Bar at the iHotel is a great restaurant, but don't forget about the bar. Fantastic drink specials and mouth-watering menu items from snacks to full meals. A nice selection of draft, craft, and domestic beers, and just about any cocktail you can imagine. Watch the game with multiple flat screens on all sides of the bar, or grab some tables and make it a party. Drink specials daily, plus Houlihan's is now serving a delicious hot breakfast 7 days a week. Houlihan's at the iHotel. Check them out at the corner of 1st Street and St. Mary's Road, just south of the State Farm Center.
Flooring Surfaces is your premier source for new flooring in Central Illinois. You don't need to wander poorly lit aisles looking for help or load a new floor into a cart to check out. You need an inviting space filled with exciting new floors and a trained professional to guide you to the perfect choice for your home or project. Flooring Surfaces can find the hardwood, carpet, vinyl, or tile floor that is right for you. With a beautiful showroom and over 1 million square feet of flooring in stock. See us today at 401 East Mercury Drive in Champaign.
The world at your feet.
Summer is here, and there's no better way to swing into the season than at Willow Pond Golf Course, the most improved golf course in Central Illinois. Golf for $30 Monday through Friday with a cart, $20 after 3 p.m. Golf Saturday and Sunday with a cart for just $35, and $25 after 3 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. Seniors golf Monday through Friday with a cart for just $20. Not a golfer? The 19th Hole Bar and Grill serves up great food and drink specials, live video gaming, and the Full Swing Golf Simulator. Call and schedule a tee time today at 893-9000 or willowpondgolf.com.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
New segment, Malcolm Hill joins us every day on the Tay and J Show. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, we forgot to ask him on air about Mark Smith.
Yeah.
He knows Mark really well. They played for the same AAU team, and Mark obviously coming in, and he said, Mark's barely lifted weights in his life,
yes.
And he's jacked.
He's jacked.
I mean, he's naturally strong. In my neck of the woods, we call that country strong, but he's from Belleville. So.
Exactly.
But he's done a really, or Edwardsville, sorry.
Yeah.
But Malcolm said he's going to be really good. And that he's a really good kid, too.
That's awesome. He said, Malcolm said they played a little one-on-one, and Mark kind of gave him a little shoulder, and he's like, whoa. That's pretty strong for a freshman. So good stuff there with Malcolm Hill. I honestly wish him the best.
Yeah, I just wish that kid would have made.
I know.
I
totally agree.
The NCAA tournament, and he did everything.
Yep.
Everything right.
We were just talking about that as an Illini fan, I was upset for the last 4 years, right, of not being able to sit down on a Thursday or a Friday of the NCAA tournament and see Illinois on the court. It really does something for you. It's really cool as a fan. Now, take that to another level as a player, and you can understand if I'm upset, not upset, but if I'm disappointed, imagine what that is for him. So.
Malcolm's one of the best I've covered.
No doubt.
There's a very small list, and Nathan Schulhaus, Malcolm Hill are on that.
They got a lot of same similarities.
Yeah, so he's a great representative of the University of Illinois. We appreciate him. Hopefully he lands a spot.
Yes.
It'd be fun to see him in the NBA, and he knows what he's got to be.
Yeah.
It's a 3-point shooter and a 3-and-D guy.
Yep.
That's what he needs to be, but I do like that he's thinning up, get a little bit more athletic, get quicker.
Thinned up.
Yeah, he's definitely thinned up. For the NBA game, that's what he's got to do.
And he's boring. He said that. He said, I am boring.
I didn't think so.
No,
thanks,
I didn't think
to our guest.
No, but he meant like off the court, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know, that'd be pretty boring.
Be a pretty good thing in the NBA. NBA
Right.
teams will like to hear that. Thanks to our guest today, Kevin Wheeler, 101 ESPN, Chris Emmis, 670thescore.com, Dan Hayes, CSN Chicago, and Malcolm Hill.
And if you learn nothing from today except this, Michael Buffer makes $5 million a fight. Just to say, ladies and gentlemen, $5 million a fight.
Was he worth 200, 300 million?
I don't know, but man,
400 million.
Somebody
sorry.
texted in and said Conor McGregor fights 5-minute rounds. He'll battle 3 minutes against someone. I mean, listen, everybody's giving Conor a shot at this except you. Everybody.
Because he's not going to win.
I won't let this die. All right, we got a short show tomorrow, but we'll be here giving you our best, as we always do. We'll talk to you then. It is the Tay and J Show. Ding, ding, ding.
Home is where the art is. It's where every day begins and ends. It's a place for big occasions and small. Home is where stories unfold and where they are told. We may leave, but we always come home again. First Financial Bank can help you achieve the home of your dreams. Talk with one of our friendly loan officers and we'll help you find the loan that's right for you. Consider it our way of saying welcome home. From First Financial Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Going on 5 years, Rock's Place in St. Joseph has become the neighborhood sports bar and grill for a lot of folks in the area. Rock's Place is known for their delicious burgers, and they also have great daily food and drink specials. Plus, Rock's has plenty of TVs, so you can keep tabs on the Cubs and Cardinals all summer long. And while you're there, press your luck on one of Melody Music's video gaming machines. For delicious food, cold drinks, and good company, make it Rock's Place, 101 North Main Street in St. Joseph. Find them on Facebook, ROCHS in St. Joseph.
Carpenters Local 243 in Champaign, Illinois wants to thank the contractors, developers, and business owners who utilize the skills and services of union carpenters on their projects. Carpenters Local 243 members are part of the world's highest skilled, most productive workforce. Members and contractors are committed to apprenticeship training and an ongoing journeyman skill advancement program. This provides the labor resources to ensure projects are completed. For a list of responsible contractors, call Carpenters Local 243 at 356-5463.
The official fan store of the Fighting Illini is moving. Game Day Spirit, currently located at 1422 South Neal Street, is moving to the corner of Neal and Kirby in Champaign this July. In the meantime, they're preparing for the lowest prices of the season to be available during their moving sale in June. Stay tuned for more information and follow them on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram by searching Game Day Spirit. Stay in the know of all things Game Day and all things Fighting Illini with Game Day Spirit, the official fan store of the Fighting Illini.
You're listening to WX.